preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
I'm Dr. Miller, a dentist and a volunteer for Dental Lifeline Network. DLN asks dentists to volunteer to see just one patient per year who might not have access to proper oral health care. Join me in making a difference.
Go to willyouseeone.org to learn more.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A nice crisp afternoon, definitely sweater weather out there. Lots of sunshine, but a high in the upper 60s. It's a chilly night again with overnight lows in the upper 40s under clear skies, and a pretty weekend. We'll kick it off Saturday with sunshine and 77, increasing clouds on Sunday with a chance of late day showers.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 314 points to 46,266.
Trying to set it up, they'll score on the power play. It's 101 for Seth Jarvis, his second of the game. It's a 2-0 lead for Carolina. Now out in front, Nikishin, he scores! Welcome to the National, his first NHL goal. Alexander Nikishin, and the Canes have a 3-1 lead.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan on a Friday. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox got to jump on the weekend, so we are produced today by Max Gorin. He'll be participating in all of our games that we play on Friday, ladder challenge, first goal score predictions, all of those sort of things. And speaking of games that'll be participated in on a Friday, Carolina Tar Heels, they haven't had much going on, so they're going to play a late night game against Cal, 10 o'clock. Canes over the weekend. There's a lot to get to, so let's not wait. Let's get right to the big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
The Carolina Hurricanes are 4-0. The last undefeated team in the NHL after beating the Anaheim Ducks last night. And this is one of those, the more you look at it, kind of the better the early stretch gets, meaning the star remains, who I thought the star has been through the first 3 games, and it continues through 4, in that the star is the roster. The star is the depth. The star is you never know where the production could come from. With the acknowledgement that there are a few guys that have started on an absolute heater, including Seth Jarvis, who scored 2 last night, including Shane Gostisbehere, who I wouldn't even call him advanced analytics, just like the analytics plus minus, rather than you don't have to look too hard to find that. Well, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, not even just plus minus, but if you go off of game score, which is a statistic that takes in, it encompasses like a lot of other stats to kind of give you an overall picture. In terms of average game score, Shane Gostisbehere has been pretty widely the best skater in the league through 4 games.
And the craziest part about it is, not saying it's crazy that he's playing well, but the craziest part about it is this time of year, every time a guy has a good game, keeps a streak alive, there are 5 players on the Carolina Hurricanes that have at least 1 point in every game this year. You talk yourself into it, as you should. Oh, this is a small sample size. It'll stop. Oh, he had a good couple of first games. Oh, that's okay. It'll stop. And of course, for somebody like Shane Gostisbehere, it's always a pleasant surprise when it just happens again. And it just happens again. Or for Seth Jarvis, when he scores that first goal, you're just like, oh, Jarvis staying hot. This is awesome.
I have another Shane Gostisbehere stat. I'm sure you've seen this, but
let's hear it.
He is the first player since 1988 to start the first 4 games of a season recording a point and a +2 in every game. Do you know who the player was in 1988 who did that?
I do, but I'm not going to rob you of the reveal. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
We have Shane Gretzky on our Carolina Hurricanes this year.
Gretzky beer. There's a lot of good there. And again, even with Jarvis, who is he, a goal and a quarter a game? Is that what we're up to? Which I believe is tied for first in the league. Even with Gostisbehere doing something for the first time since Gretzky. Even with a player like Alexander Nikishin starting with a ridiculous point streak and scoring his first goal last night. Even with all of that going on, I still think the star isn't any one individual player. It's the fact that game to game, it's been different guys stepping up. It's been big plays, feeling randomly from guys like Mike Riley. Great plays from players we're used to seeing it, like Sebastian Aho. And it's just, you never know where it's going to come.
We had in our YouTube chat, and by the way, if you're listening on the radio or maybe you want to watch on video, you can always watch live, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. We just hit 20,000 subscribers, so it was very exciting. Demo in the chat said he's glad he stayed up last night. Everybody around here stayed up too, and you could tell this morning talking to you, Tim, and talking to Adam Gold. There was we're all happy, we all enjoyed the game, but it was definitely low energy this morning after. That's the downside of the State Fair road trip is you get some red eyes in the morning. Everyone's a little, what a great game last night.
It's 100% true. And, to make our job way more dramatic than it is, we all know, like, when we have to ramp up. Like for Adam, his energy has to be high at, 11:45 going into noon. I have to ramp up kind of when at that 2:30 when everyone in day jobs is like, oh, geez, Friday at 2:30. I have to start ramping up. So at, 9, all of us know we're just in energy conservation mode. And even our, like, the fun conversation, like the Canes are undefeated. Like, that is an objectively around here fun conversation. They're just low energy. They're just like, another win. Do you see it? Yeah. How good is Jarvis? When's Ehlers going to score? And it's weird, but you're exactly right. It is low energy and a little tired eyes. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
Panthers at Jets this Sunday. This is a unique situation. Talk about fun conversations. The Panthers are favorites. The Panthers are favorites to win an NFL football game. They have 3 more wins than the team they're playing.
I don't know how fun of a conversation that is because I think I heard something the Panthers have not won as a favorite since like 2020 or 2021.
And Peyton Manning couldn't win the big one until he got a Super Bowl.
Hey, they're doing a lot of things for the first time since 2021. They got to 500, so.
Even if that is, and that's actually a great point because, this is the definition of a trap game. Right? You're playing well. You're the favorite. You're on the road. 0-6 team. 0-6 team is your opponent. I believe their best offensive player is out. Garrett Wilson listed as doubtful. You're getting guys back. Jalen Coker expected to make his season debut. Chuba Hubbard and Jatavian Sanders completely off the injury report, so they're healthy. You're getting guys back from injury. Like, everything is going – it's a trap game, right? And you just brought up the stats, right? The Panthers haven't been good when believed in over the last, basically since Cam. But to get where you want to go as a team, that is one of those ceilings you have to break through, right? You have to get used to being a team that people believe in. You have to get used to finding whatever makes you tick, whatever makes you lock in enough to win a game against an opponent who's wounded. Now you know what it feels like for everybody to have played you the last 5 years. It's like, well, we should win this game, and you might sneak up and catch them. The Panthers at the Jets on Sunday is a game that, yeah, they haven't done well in this kind of stereotypical situation, but it is a 100% game that you have to win if you want to get to where you want to get to. Right? If Dave Canales wants to be around long term, if Bryce Young wants this to be his job for heck next year, let alone talking long term, like if these guys want to be the leaders, this is a game you win. You can't just sneak up on people. You can't just be the team. Like remember when, well, I'll use an ACC example because we're going to talk college football here in a second. Remember when Clemson was known for Clemsoning? Right? They always had that one random game that they lost, and it, kept them from being ranked in the top 5. It made them being ranked in the, 18th because they lost that one random game. During part of that era, I covered Syracuse. I was in upstate New York. And Cuse took way too much pride in being the team that Clemson would Clemson to. Like, they would catch them in the Dome on a random, Friday night game, and they'd beat Clemson and took so much pride in it. And then they would lose to Virginia the next week, Georgia Tech the next week, Pitt the next week, but they'd latch onto that Clemson game. And I was always sitting there going, you can't only win games when the other team overlooks you. Like, you can't only catch teams when they're not locked in and get them with, 3 trick plays. And, oh, look, they Clemsoned. No. The Panthers at some point have to start winning the games they're supposed to win, not just the ones where everybody's like, I don't know. So this is a good test for them mentally. And then finally, let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
UNC football tonight, 10 o'clock at Cal. Now, we're going to talk about all of the Pablo Torre podcast that came out today, some hot mic stuff from years ago with Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, and Mike Lombardi, and there's Saudi Arabian college football fans involved. Like, there's so much off-the-field stuff that we're going to get to, and I have opinions on, obviously. From a football perspective, the athletes on that team, they have to be pleased today is here. As an athlete, all you want to be able to do, all you ask for, part of the reason why you love sports is you get to settle it on the field, right? If people are going to talk about how your team's not bought in, your team's not together, your teams don't believe in your coach, the dysfunction, everybody wants to leave, there's only one way you can prove them wrong, and that's by going out on the field of competition and playing well. And the frustrating part about football is you only get one chance a week to do that. And when you have 2 bye weeks in 3 weeks, you get one chance in a month to do that. And they've probably been chomping at the bit for tonight. At least you hope they've been chomping at the bit for tonight. A chance to get out there and play football. So I'm happy for the athletes that, they finally don't have to answer questions. And they get to go, pop some pads, knock some people, play some football. Because I guarantee you, and even with like an acknowledgement and oh, you guys might want to be private, like teachers are asking them. Professors are like, oh, can so-and-so stay after class? So what's going on with Bill Belichick? Are you guys doing all right? Because they can't help it.
They're trying to get the inside scoop. It's good for them that they finally get to go out of there in the field and play, because I'm sure they're sick of all the stuff that's been coming out in the cycle, and every day there's a new story regarding the crazy stuff behind the scenes. But
even the ricochet shots towards the players, one of the main criticisms of Bill Belichick and how he's run the program is he hasn't put together a roster that's talented enough. It's obvious that the roster isn't talented enough to win. It's obvious and if I'm a player, I'm hearing that going, well, I'm part of that roster, so you might be insulting him, but you're kind of insulting me.
The backhanded.
So let's go ahead and line it up. Spot the ball. Let's play. That's what tonight is about.
I will say it's interesting, and we'll dive more into this game later. But the betting line for the game opened with Cal. 12.5-point favorite. It's gone down 4 points since then. It's down to 8.5. So somebody in Vegas
it got as low as 7.5.
Yeah, a big fish somewhere or something. Somebody knows something, and they're feeling like Carolina's gonna be competing out there, and then maybe they'll be staying up until 2 a.m. to watch the end of that game, because I don't know if I'm gonna make it after after these late night Canes games this week.
Oh, I'll be watching. I'll also be watching tomorrow at noon when Duke hosts Georgia Tech. That's more of a traditional big game. That's just two teams that are undefeated in conference, one of them ranked in the top 12 in the country, battling it out. And I'll say this later, and I'll say it right now. It's the biggest game of Duke's schedule remaining. And this is why you pay your quarterback $4 million to go win a game like this. This is why Darian Mensah was brought in, and winning this one is a big part of it. We'll talk about it throughout the show. When we return here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan, we have to talk about that Canes win. We have to talk about that 4-1 victory over Anaheim. We have to talk about that 4-0 start to the season. We have to talk about maybe bigger than even Canes team hype. A hype train that is going off the rails, full steam ahead, for one particular player on the Carolina Hurricanes. Stick around.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Cheer on your Duke Blue Devils as they face off against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on Saturday, October 18th. You won't want to miss all the action of Spirit Day at Brooks Field and Wallace Wade Stadium. Feel the roar of the crowd, the pride of the campus, and the thrill of Duke football as the Devils defend their home turf. Don't wait. There are only 3 home games left in the regular season. Get tickets at goduke.com/footballticks or call 919-681-BLUE. Duke football. Bleed blue.
Pierce the veil. I Can't Hear You World Tour 2025. Pierce the Veil. Live in concert in Raleigh. With special guests Health, Eka Vandal, and Like Roses. Live at Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Saturday, October 25th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Part of the Mattress Warehouse concert series.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions. Like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures. Until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Now out in front, Nikishin, he scores! Welcome to the National, his first NHL goal. Alexander Nikishin, and the Canes have a 3-1 lead.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Carolina Hurricanes on the late night, if you didn't stay up. It was a 10 o'clock puck drop. Beat Anaheim 4-1. And it was a, and Max, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this one. It was comfortable as an NHL victory comes, right?
Yeah, they sort of distanced themselves down the stretch. Anaheim stayed in there for a good bit, and they've definitely made some strides from being kind of a basement team. They made a coaching change. They've had some young guys start stepping up, so they got a good team, and they hung in for a while. But the Canes, they pulled away, and I would call it a pretty comfortable win. And
I wasn't saying that as a disrespect to Anaheim, but you're exactly right. They didn't look like some of the Anaheim teams of recent memory. Although, if we're going to insult Anaheim, I know what I'm insulting Anaheim about. I don't even notice jerseys. I don't really care. As long as I can tell the two teams apart.
Theirs are pretty bad.
How
I agree.
the heck do you go from, maybe it's just nostalgia for me, but I always liked the Mighty Ducks, like the ones they had kind of original. And now they're those orange monstrosities. What the heck was that?
I feel like everybody universally would be on board with them just going back to the eggplant and teal Mighty Duck, but they're just like, no, we're going to keep the new colors. We'll bring the design back, but we're going to put this traffic cone orange on it.
That was a weird one. So I didn't mean it to insult Anaheim, but I just meant to say that like it was another game building off of what the Canes have done thus far, which is just, they're I think it's very much, kind of idyllic Rod Brindamore hockey where they're just making good decisions and playing hard and good decisions and playing hard, and eventually in most of these games, really outside of the one that went to overtime, they're just pulling away kind of steady and winning the game. And it's the entire depth of the roster. It's obviously, as you know, if you follow the Canes, and many of you do, I'm preaching to the choir here, but forwards back checking and constant pressure and possessing the puck. It just, give it time, just like Novocaine always works. And then there's an added little bit this year, which is there does seem to be an atmosphere of a few guys are ready to get their close up, right? A few guys, which has been kind of the Canes' knock, right? Is they play great team hockey, but the top guys, right? Where's their super? And it's I think Canes fans are thirsting for that, like, otherworldly athletic performance or otherworldly skilled performance. And as a true believer in Sebastian Aho, I think he has it within him, but he's been an 89-point scorer, not a 104-point scorer, that kind of thing. With all that being said, I do think there is a rushing to get the hype train going. And one, I can tell you right now, as much as I believe in it, as much as I think everybody wants to see it happen, it is going to become uncontrollable. And I'm talking about the Alexander Nikishin hype train. It is going to get going downhill with steam cranking out of the smokestack and coal being shoveled into the little furnace, and it is going to get to a point where none of us can stop it individually. Everyone loves that guy.
Oh, my goodness.
When he scored his first goal, right? He scored his first career goal last night. You would have thought he was like Crash Davis or something. Like he had been in the minors for 15 years and finally got called up and had told everyone in the locker room, if I score just one goal, I can die a happy man. Like, he went and scored a goal. Shane Gostisbehere looked like his son just scored a goal. Like, everybody was so jacked for that guy, which I think says something about how he is, despite a pretty significant language barrier in that locker room. And I can tell you this, fans have already anointed that guy the next coming of whatever great defenseman is your favorite. And they've been doing so for the last 2.5 years since he became the quote-unquote best defenseman not in the NHL while being a player that the Canes held his rights. Everyone loves that guy. And then he scored, and he's had, three that I can – actually, I'll go four. 4 moments offensively this season already that make you go – whoa. And that, plus the physical skill set, plus the appearance that everybody on the team loves him and the fans are excited about him, and even something as simple as like Jacob Slavin hasn't been out there, which means he's probably getting a little bit more ice time. He's probably getting a little bit of a different role. There's a lot that's adding up to this thing is about to get going downhill, cooking with gas, grease, and gravy, as the broadcast would say.
Yeah, it's I've been highly anticipating him coming over for a long time, like many fans, as you mentioned. And I think he's not only is he as advertised, but I think he is better.
Yeah,
and,
see?
Yeah, it's
you can't help but think it. I'm not knocking you for it, but you can't help but think it.
And Rod, I think it's kind of his MO. He sort of downplays it a little bit because
he's
maybe
working
trying to take
so hard.
Yeah, he's trying to take some pressure off of Nikishin, I think, because a lot of people do have these very high expectations for him as a top prospect. But from what we've seen so far in the beginning of this season, and he was serviceable in the playoff action he got thrust into last year. He wasn't a world beater or anything, but now that he's had a full offseason and training camp and preseason to get into the system, familiarize himself with his teammates a little bit. He's learned a little bit more English. He knows a couple words, and we'll get to that as well. But he looks every bit the part of this young defenseman who's coming in and going to be an absolute weapon on the blue line for the Hurricanes for many years. And after this season, I would not be surprised if he is getting a hefty payday and the left side of the Hurricanes defense is locked up for the next 7 years.
Well, it's interesting you brought up that it does, as Rod does, and I'm not disagreeing. I actually think it's good for the development. I do think Rod is doing, like, if there is this train metaphor, I think he's got like a rope tied to the front, and he is on the side like tug of war, right? He's digging his every muscle he has of the plenty muscles that Rod has are straining to hold back the hype train because he knows that a young guy is going to have his moments. He knows he's going to have his rookie mistakes. He knows there's going to be stretches where he doesn't have a point every game, and he doesn't want that to be the expectation. And I actually think that might be part of why we haven't seen him a ton on the power play. Because if he's quarterbacking that second power play unit and, hits a bomb, there goes the neighborhood.
The roof is blowing off
then
the Lenovo Center when that happens.
There's
and I think it's
putting that hype toothpaste back in that tube.
I think it's coming sooner rather than later. I think, and obviously it depends on the output, but the second unit has not scored a lot on the power play. I think there's a good chance if that trend continues, by the time they come back from this road trip, we might be seeing a little bit of power play Nikishin. That's, of course, assuming that he continues this fantastic pace that he's on, looking like
he's shown
he's been in the
skill.
league. Yeah, it looks like he's been in the NHL for 5 years.
Let's hear what Rod said on the growth of Nikishin and, of course, his first NHL goal last night.
Well, you definitely know the talent is there, and we talk about it all the time. This NHL is a really tough league to just get thrown in there, and with he's learning the language, and but I think that he's just kind of scratching the surface because there's a lot of raw ability there, and that was a big goal to kind of put the game away.
That's the other part that I keep reminding myself is I think every new player there is a certain expectation of getting better, but like a language barrier or just getting used to North America, and he did go back to Russia for the offseason. That's like not hockey related at all and might lead to better play, right? It might lead to as he gets used to that or as he develops a little bit better, he can keep it rolling. It's impressive. Speaking of the language barrier, we have Alexander Nikishin post-game after scoring his first NHL goal.
Thank you. I think everyday work, block shot, forecheck, and shoot on goal.
I mean, does it not seem like every English word he's learned has been from like a Rod Brindamore post-game speech?
Well, you remember from their first conversation when he came over in last spring, he's like, oh, you know hockey. He's like, I know hockey.
Yep.
And then he just displayed his glossary of knowledge right there. Shots on goal, forecheck, everyday work. That's a big one for Rod.
Everyday work, block shots, forecheck, shots on goal. He doesn't have to learn anything else. Everybody's name. That's it. That's all he's got to learn.
Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Boom. And he wouldn't even that would be his Hall of Fame speech. That's the acceptance speech right there. Everyday work. I don't even want to try to do the accent.
Block shot.
Yeah, that's
forecheck. Shots on goal.
There you go. If only it were that simple for everybody else, Alexander. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the Dean's List coming up next and 2 minutes of gold. Adam Gold breaks down what he saw last night in the win for the Canes. Stick around.
Hey, folks. Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan from my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've lost 40 pounds in 10 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And not only have I lost that weight, I've been able to maintain that weight as well, which is all part of the goal and part of the plan at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And the key part about that is there's an actual plan. I know a lot of people, including myself, when it came to the weight loss journey, got really frustrated trying to look up and see, well, what works best for me and trying to research all this different stuff. And you will read something that says, figure out what works best for you. And the only thing I wanted was just someone to tell me, hey, follow this plan. That's exactly what Raleigh Weight Loss Center did. Hey, Dennis, follow this plan, stick to it, you can see results. That's exactly what happened. If you want to know more about the plan, you want to ask questions, if you have any concerns, set up a free 15-minute phone call with Raleigh Weight Loss Center by visiting RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Free 15-minute phone call. Results may vary.
Hey, it's Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. Fall in North Carolina, as we know, means crisp nights, football Saturdays, and big savings with the Red Tag Sales event going on now at Clayton and Oakwood Homes. It's the best time of the year to buy your dream home. And right now, prices are slashed. You can save thousands on select in-stock homes. These are move-in ready homes with huge markdowns, but only while supplies last. Like a strong defense on the field, Clayton-built homes are made to keep you covered. Designed with energy efficiency in mind, you will stay cozy this fall, comfortable year-round, and save money on bills. Check out Clayton and Oakwood Homes to see fully furnished models, explore your options, and lock in savings. And don't wait. These homes are priced to move, and when they're gone, they're gone. The Red Tag Sale going on now at Clayton and Oakwood Homes locations and online at theredtagsale.com. Terms and conditions for the Red Tag Sales event at theredtagsale.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family or brands retailers through 12/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available within certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So here's the deal, everybody. The Canes won. You may say, which game did they win? What are you talking about? All of them. All of them. Every game they've played this year, they've won. They're the last undefeated team after Dallas lost last night. It's still super early, 4 games through, but it's fun to say out loud, so I'm going to do it a few times throughout the show. Also, for more reactions to last night's win, and this one more specifically, the win over Anaheim, here's our very own Adam Gold with what we call 2 Minutes of Gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I got 2 minutes for 2 points and 2 very important firsts, although one isn't necessarily a first. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Here's what you need to know. The Carolina Hurricanes are 4-0. Did they play great against the Ducks of Anaheim? Not really. But when it mattered, their best players came through.
Gostisbehere breaks a stick, shots there, they score! Seth Jarvis pots it home!
That goal came off a defensive play by Shane Gostisbehere. Seth Jarvis in the right place at the right time. And then, glory be, a power play goal.
Aho, time to set it up, they'll score on the power play! It's 101 for Seth Jarvis.
Jackson Blake with a great pass. He was flipped to that unit to create this type of offense. It worked. And then...
Now out in front, Nikishin, he scores! Welcome to the National, his first NHL goal. Alexander Nikishin, and the Canes have a 3-1 lead.
You never forget your first. Dynamite pass from Aho. Great finish from the kid. The elation that the entire team clearly felt was so cool to see. But the kid's playing well, still making some mistakes, but playing well. And then Sebastian Aho would score his first goal of the year. A lot of firsts last night. It felt like a first power play goal, even though it wasn't. Jarvis. First goal for Nikishin. Great. And then Sebastian finally gets on the score sheet with a goal. Nice. Freddie Anderson was great. Maybe the Canes can continue this road swing in LA on another bright note. 4-0. Nothing to sneeze at. Parkway Sleep. They will help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off for the first time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Where do they come up with that? Talk about the first time. They went and got Madonna singing for the very first time. It's a long bridge to span there, isn't it? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to Adam and Rusty who puts those together. Here on The Drive at this time, just about every day, we do something we call the Dean's List. Class is in session. Let's highlight some college sports newsmakers that deserve a little extra praise. I'll get us started. Brian Parker II, Duke offensive lineman. If you don't remember, we talked with Brian Parker at ACC kickoff. Do you know who his cousin is? Brian Parker?
No, who is it?
Derek Lively. First cousins. Derek Lively, the 7-foot big man that also played at Duke, same recruiting class for the basketball team, is now playing for the Dallas Mavericks alongside Cooper Flagg and Kyrie Irving and a bunch of other Duke guys. That is Brian Parker's first cousin. They grew up together. Now, Brian Parker, according to ESPN, who put out their list of top 25 college football players of the season thus far, they did their mid-season top 25. Brian Parker is the 22nd best player in college football. He's playing tackle for Duke. He's expected to move inside, perhaps play center for the NFL. Sounds a lot like Graham Barton, who was a first-round pick of the Bucks. He's playing a lot for them. Only player in the triangle on the list. That's why he makes the Dean's List. And they even listed some near misses. Didn't have anyone else from the triangle. I thought Vincent Anthony Jr. from Duke maybe got messed over a little bit. Maybe Hollywood Smothers, whose rushing total is way up there, maybe got messed over a little bit. I wouldn't say a ton for UNC got messed over, but we can have that conversation another day. Max, do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to throw on there?
I do. I'll go with Anthony Smith, receiver at ECU, as a former NC State wide receiver. They won last night. ECU running Thursday night 7:30 games on ESPN this year. They won 41-27 over Tulsa in Greenville last night. Anthony Smith, 4 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Anthony Smith and ECU as a whole, welcome to the Dean's List.
I'll build off of that. London Montgomery, which first of all is a name that is straight out of a Sherlock Holmes novel. I suspect London Montgomery in the... I'm actually going Clue now. In the Study with the Candlestick. London Montgomery is a ECU running back. ECU, as you mentioned, beat Tulsa Thursday night, which is ECU's night. They've played 7 games now. 4 of them have been on Thursday. They're trying to own Thursday. Montgomery came into the game last night, running back. He averaged about 40 yards per game rushing and had 2 touchdowns on the season. So averaged about a third of a touchdown a game, or averaged exactly a third of a touchdown a game. Last night he had 125 yards rushing and a touchdown. Going from averaging 40 to 125, he hadn't had more than 60 in a game this year. Had 125 last night. That was a good day for London Montgomery. Sounds like he should be hanging out with Thurston Howell. Do you know who Thurston Howell is, Max?
I don't.
I always got to find a way to make you feel...
like I've not seen any. I swear I've seen a lot of movies before.
This isn't a movie.
I swear I've seen some television shows before.
Do you know who Ginger and Marianne are?
Nope.
Gilligan?
He has an island?
Yeah, there you go. It's from Gilligan's Island. Thurston Howell. All right. By the way, that's even before my time. I just watched TV Land and stuff growing up. That is part of the Dean's List. I'll get to... I have 2 more here. Dean's List. The agents of college coaches. Did you see what the Kurt Signetti contract? So
he's getting
8
I'm
years.
trying to think of his comparable money. He's getting David Pasternak money.
Yeah, absolutely. If certain NHL players jump from 30 goals to 40 goals, they could be lucky to get Kurt Signetti money. Kurt Signetti is the coach at Indiana. This is how the self-fulfilling prophecy happens here, right? So Penn State fires James Franklin. Depending on what he does with his next career decision, Penn State could be on the hook for about $50 million to make James Franklin go away. That's his buyout. Because of that, Kurt Signetti is immediately brought up because he has Indiana cranking as one of the likely the desired coaches for Penn State, which obviously leads to Indiana saying, what's it going to take to make you recommit here? We don't want you to leave. And he gets an 8-year, $93 million contract extension. Here's where the agents come in. Fully guaranteed. 8 years, $93 million. As long as he is not fired for cause, right? As long as he dots his I's, crosses his T's, make sure he's following the rules and not doing anything dumb, he gets all $93 million. Indiana just watched Penn State have a coach that they were so excited about, that was doing well, that was building them into something, that was recruiting well, that was a good face of the program, regret the heck out of giving them all that guaranteed money, and they went, we'll have what they're having. And I'm not saying it's going to blow up in their face. I'm saying there is no way they couldn't get a better deal done. But the agents are just leveraging left and right. 8 years, $93 million. Do you know 5 years ago, he was making $400K to coach JMU.
A meager $400,000.
I'm not saying
that is
it's meager compared to 11.6.
Yeah, compared to the big-time college coaches, but
you couldn't get Curt Cignetti to sign up to stick around for less than $93 million guaranteed when you're talking to somebody that was making $400K.
I wonder what the negotiation was like, because obviously he's got them humming, and with big jobs coming open, Penn State and just kind of various openings. Feels like a lot of firings early in the season this year in college football. I wonder who made the first move. Like, what was the first offer there?
I imagine they slid a check that was signed with a blank in the value across the table and said, "What'll it cost for you to hang up on Penn State?" And this is what the agent threw out there. I can't imagine that, like, this started at 8 years, $110 million, and Indiana negotiated it down to 93. Like, this has to be like, whatever you want, we're gonna do. There's no way they had like cut the difference in half 3 times to get to 8 years, 93. Maybe it was like, hey, the only way I didn't even agree with that. I was going to say maybe they last offer, best offered him. Maybe Cignetti's agent looked at Indiana and said, we don't want to do the back and forth. Give us the absolute best you can, and this is what they came up with. But I don't know. I don't get why college coaches have such ridiculous buyouts. There are, and I know some of them. Like, some of my teammates are coaching. I know some people in the coaching world. There are a lot of people out there that would do heinous things to get the opportunity to be a Power 5 head coach. And at least some of them are pretty good coaches. And you don't have the leverage to look at them and say, we can replace you. We're not giving you $93 million guaranteed. You're going to have to settle for $30 million guaranteed? Like, what are we doing here? All right, that's the Dean's List. Let's dismiss it. Because we have to get ready, and this takes some mental preparation. We have to get ready to talk about UNC football. They're playing at Cal tonight. There is a interesting, gossipy, lot of different angles to it podcast from Pablo Torre that came out today, and we'll do our best to talk about it all. Coming up next right here on The Drive.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
It's Trick Out Your Wheels with Sound Station and Security.
Our contestants are ruling the streets.
Here come the bikes and the bass is bumping.
Sound Station and Security can hook up all your vehicles with amazing custom stereo systems and speakers.
Does that golf cart have strobe lights?
It sure does. Sound Station has tons of LED lighting options for your bike, ATV, and even golf cart, and we install it all.
If it's got wheels, Sound Station and Security has got you covered. In Raleigh,
Raleigh, Smithfield, and myhotsound.com.
Looking for serious power and a serious deal? It's truck season at Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford, and you can get 5.9% financing for 84 months on the tough, dependable GMC Sierra 2500. Whether it's for work, play, or both, the Sierra 2500 brings the muscle, and Wilkinson makes it easy to drive one home today. See dealer for details. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Lopez in the pistol with Hood behind him. He will hand to him. Hood right side, slithers through and powers home. Touchdown, Carolina. What a start for Belichick in the heel.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. More and more every week, I think there's almost two North Carolina Tar Heels to talk about. There's the football team, and there's the tabloid fodder. There's the who's going to start at quarterback, looking like it's going to be Gio Lopez, and the did their GM go to Saudi Arabia 2 weeks before the season started to fundraise? Right? There's the what does the defense have to do to lock in and live up to the Belichick reputation? And there's how much influence does Jordan Hudson have over Bill Belichick? There's two separate things going on here. Some would say you can't separate them, but I think it's fair to the student athletes to do so. So we're going to have two conversations here. We're going to have a football conversation, then we're going to have the other stuff conversation. Football conversation, it's a must-win. Tonight against Cal on the road, it's a must-win. I don't see a way they get to 4 wins if they don't win this one. And if UNC goes from pretty consistently at least threatening for 8 wins under Mac Brown and they don't get half that under the first year of Bill Belichick, it becomes a very difficult sell that things are moving in the right direction.
If they want to get to that 4-win mark, I mean, winning tonight
it's must win.
Very, very important because
must win.
There's probably not going to be another game that they're favored in other than Stanford at home. And even then, depending on how things shake out, who knows?
Pat Welter, who's been covering UNC for WRAL, including the off-field and on-field stuff, tweeted this out earlier today. According to multiple sources, Gio Lopez took first-team reps this week and is expected to start tonight versus Cal. Lopez was injured in the second half of the UCF game and did not play versus Clemson. This is very much a I'm not saying it's wrong, but it is a absurd I'm right, everybody is wrong move from the UNC Tar Heels. This is them saying preseason we made every right decision. They're not changing any play callers. They're not changing their quarterback. They're not doesn't appear as if they're changing much of anything, despite the fact that they've been one of, if not the worst power conference team in the country, and in some statistics, the worst, including Group of 5 in the country. And they're just rolling it out there saying, no, we were right. No change to the process. Now, I'm not saying Gio Lopez is or isn't the right quarterback to play. He is a bit more mobile than Max Johnson, especially after the injury Max Johnson suffered last year. So perhaps that's what they're thinking. They just need a guy that can run around a little bit. But I'm surprised nothing has changed. And since this week they so earnestly, so obviously said the play callers are not changing, I thought perhaps the quarterback was the thing they were going to point to. And now that they're rolling Gio Lopez back out there, it seems like they're just doubling and tripling down on everything they did at the beginning of the year.
I mean, maybe they're attributing some of his worst games being due to being banged up. Perhaps. You know, he got hurt in that TCU game, and now he's had basically 3 full weeks to recover with the bye week sandwiching the Clemson game, but I mean, just based on what we've seen on the field, it's interesting that they would choose to go back to Gio Lopez instead of Max Johnson. Although it's not like, I mean, the offense wasn't lighting the world on fire against Clemson either. So, I mean, if you want to give it a shot, I mean, you've also got Bryce Baker there. He's a pretty highly touted freshman. Like at some
Very.
point, maybe you want to get him some looks at under center.
I imagine the Bryce Baker of it all will come into play with 4 games left in the year where he can protect that year of eligibility. But that's just me reading some tea leaves across college football and how a lot of these young stud recruits are treating their freshman year. So from the football perspective, must win. I don't think there's a ton changing as far as scheme. I don't think there's a ton changing as far as roles or players' roles or anything like that. So it is kind of that thing of, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I don't think Cal is any kind of a world beater. They started very hot. I am a fan of their quarterback, Jaren Kiave Sagupolutele, but he's still a freshman, young guy, was one of the bigger recruits in the country. But he is, they're not a world beater. This is as gettable of a game as you can find. There's some weird stuff, as Max brought up earlier, going on with the betting lines. Cal opened up as a 12.5-point favorite, got all the way down to just a 7.5-point favorite, and I believe it's now back up to 8.5, which means there's some sharps out there that are all in on UNC.
Well, maybe it's just they see value in betting against the spread of a team that got shut out 34-0 by San Diego State. It's very Jekyll and Hyde, I feel, with Cal this year. Yep. Like, sometimes they look incredible, and other times they look like a bottom feeder ACC team. We're going to have a lefty battle too if Gio Lopez starts with Sagapolutele.
It could be that as well. I mean, maybe the as soon as it was obvious Gio Lopez was starting, maybe that's what moved the line, and they think that he is a 4-point better quarterback than Max Johnson. I don't know.
Is that moving the line 4 points in
their
favor?
I'm putting it out there as a possibility because I can't explain it. Usually moves that big in a betting line come with very obvious reasons. Comes with an All-American saying he's going to play. Comes with a huge injury on the other side, something like that. But this one's a little bit more difficult to explain. Now we get to the behind the scenes. I want to be clear on this. I watched the entirety of Pablo Torre Finds Out, the episode with Bill Belichick today that came out today. It's not with Bill Belichick. They talked about Belichick and Jordan Hudson and the influence in the inner circle of Bill Belichick's tight-knit group of advisors. I think Pablo Torre has a very interesting place in sports media right now. He is diving into investigative journalism in a way that I think is valuable, right? I think the stuff he did with Kawhi Leonard and the kind of ghost payments, some of the other stuff he's doing is very interesting. I do think sometimes he gets in so deep that he doesn't realize like where he is. This version of the reporting came across very gossipy to me. They had a hot mic from a long time ago. Okay, this is like not this year. This is years ago. A hot mic when Bill Belichick and Matt Patricia, who's now the defensive coordinator at Ohio State, longtime NFL defensive coordinator / offensive coordinator / head coach of the Lions, they were recording a podcast that's trying to let people into like a coaching room, right? What would you tell a team? Well, here we're going to break down some plays. And the microphones picked up between recording, this is not like on the podcast, Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, being like a really weird micromanager. Like trying to, at one point she asked if the entire graphics team from Underdog Sports was that's who was running the show, although they were recording it at NFL Films, wanted to meet with the entire graphics team so they can show them what they're doing wrong. She couldn't understand why graphics weren't done in 2 seconds on Adobe Photoshop, and she kept saying Adobe Photoshop, saying she's used Adobe Photoshop. As somebody that has used Adobe Photoshop, I'll tell you right now, if you've ever used Adobe Photoshop, you don't call it Adobe Photoshop.
Well, it's just so you get on the template and then you just hit delete and you just type in what you want and it's done.
She didn't say you just hit delete. She said you hit delete, as if she was deleting like a letter at a time by pressing delete once. It was strange. It was cringy. It was secondhand embarrassment. It was the equivalent of somebody that has played Madden going up to Bill Belichick and saying, I know what you're doing wrong on third downs. And because Jordan Hudson was being co-signed by Bill Belichick, like empowered by Bill Belichick, everybody had to listen. Everybody had to sit there and go, "Oh, I think we could do that. Should we look into that? Oh, that might be a new segment idea." Like they had to sit there and entertain it, and it was weird and it was awkward. And Matt Patricia, I think, to use another video game example, unplugged the controller. At one point in time, he just looked down at the table and went motionless, just as like, "What am I doing here?"
The notification popped up on the screen. Matt Patricia has left the party.
Yeah, it was a lot of secondhand embarrassment. Like I was going, "Ooh, she doesn't realize how that's coming across." I don't care. This was the reason why I said it felt gossipy is who cares if Bill Belichick empowered his girlfriend to be too hands-on with a podcast years ago? That impacts absolutely nothing. If those people didn't want to work with them, cool, like that's their right. But Bill Belichick was the name attached to that podcast that had all of the leverage, and all of the reason anyone was going to listen to that podcast was Bill Belichick. And if he wanted to use that little nepotism angle, whatever you want to call it, to get his girlfriend, talking graphics, I don't care. I don't care. And it felt, to be honest, kind of mean that they're just airing this, and then they would interject, and Pablo Torre and Katie Nolan and some other guy would just laugh. And I get it. It's funny. Don't get me wrong. There were times I chuckled. But it was like they didn't think this was being recorded. At one point in time, it's literally them whispering to each other outside of the earshot of everybody else, and they didn't realize the mic was hot, and they were talking about all of the things that the people that were running the podcast could do better, and other people that they've worked with in the past that they would rather have in those positions, which I get it. It sounds like they're being catty. It sounds like they're being like ungrateful. But who doesn't talk to their significant other about people at work that aren't getting their job done? Right? Like you've never, after a long day of work, gone home to your significant other when you think no one else is listening and gone, "Duh, today was a long day. So-and-so, didn't finish the TPS report, so I had to step in and make it happen." Like, of course. We and they weren't supposed to hear that. And whoever was recording it, courtesy. Soon as they start whispering to each other, jump on the speaker and go, "Hey, just so you know, your mics are still live. We can hear you." Like I'm all for. I don't want to say I'm all for. That makes it sound like I'm eager to. I get it. Bill Belichick showed up with high football expectations, and the football has been bad. If you want to talk about third down decisions, roster management, if you want to talk about who he has hired as a coach, go nuts. If you expect me to act like it's within the realm of normal conversation to eavesdrop on his conversations with his girlfriend from years ago and think that's somehow newsworthy enough for all of us to go, "That's why their team stinks." Like, that's one bridge too far. Now, I will say this. Pablo Torre did quite a bit of reporting in which Pablo revealed, and I was surprised he did this, that when Pablo reported earlier this year that Jordan Hudson was being banned from the facility, according to one of his inside sources, he outed that source as Michael Lombardi, the GM and Bill Belichick's right-hand man. Pablo said Michael Lombardi told Pablo, this is all according to Pablo Torre on the podcast, he said Michael Lombardi told him that Jordan Hudson was banned. That right there is interesting, because not only was Jordan Hudson she didn't end up being banned, the first game she showed up with a necklace with the word banned, B-A-N-N-E-D, as the word on the necklace. So she was flaunting that she wasn't banned based on the reports. And the reports started with Bill Belichick's right-hand man. So if there are, and Bill Belichick is notoriously tight, like a close-knit group, if there are only a couple of people that he listens to and takes advice from and will maybe change his opinion based on what they tell him, and two of them are feuding, whether they know it or not, with each other, that becomes an issue. That is what becomes an issue. And I thought this was a good question asked by Brian Murphy, WRL Sports investigative reporter on Twitter. Just kind of after reading it, this was one of the questions that popped into his brain, or after listening to the podcast. And when he asked it, I went, you know what? That's a good question. So here's the question. Did UNC think when they hired Belichick they were getting Belichick with McDaniels, with Josh McDaniels and Matt Patricia? And instead they got Belichick with Jordan Hudson and Mike Lombardi? Because I think if you Matt Patricia's doing really well as defensive coordinator at Ohio State. Josh McDaniels had turned around a Patriots offense that even when Drake May looked really good last year, the offense did not look really good. They're on a 3-game win streak. If you gave Belichick those guys as coordinators, I think we might be looking at things a little bit differently. And maybe that's what UNC thought they were hiring. And instead, they got the other two. Not as good. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9, The Fan. But I do think it's fair to remember that they're humans. As awkward and cringeworthy as it was, they're still people. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9, The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and specifically the Fox and Bailey watch shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry. You may not believe it. You may not have looked at a calendar recently, but the holidays are creeping up. They really are. And if you want a little bit of like spy cover, we're getting to the point where if you go to Bailey's Fine Jewelry and you're looking for information, right? You take your significant other there, you walk around Bailey's Fine Jewelry, you walk around Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, you want to see what they point out and go, ooh, that's nice. If you take them December 10th, they're going to know why you're there. Like, oh, let's just go walk around the watch shop. Let's see which Rolexes you might like. They're going to know while you're there, right? But October 17th, you're already going to the Village District. You're going to get some food. Maybe you're going to do some shopping. Oh, let's stop into Bailey's. Let's see what they have in the pre-owned and vintage Rolex case. Let's see what they have in the display for the brand new Omegas. And then you start taking notes, and then you get ready to get them whatever they like, right? The watch that they single out for the holidays, right? Now is the time to do the research. Be prepared. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And who knows? Maybe they'll say they like a pre-owned or vintage Cartier. Maybe they'll walk right over to the Norcanes and go, I've heard of these. They're awesome. Whatever it is, Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, Bailey's Fine Jewelry can help you find it. Make sure when you're there, you let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. And fellas, you can walk around the Bailey's Fine Jewelry showcase as well. Listen to what your lady is saying, right? Those earrings are nice. That diamond is awesome, right? Take some notes, pay attention. You could win this holiday season as well. Just make sure they know you heard about it from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. We'll take a break when we come back. Football at 4, Panthers at Jets. How important is this game? Very, and I'll tell you why.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
It's open enrollment. Time to choose a plan that includes Wake Med, the leading provider of healthcare services in Wake County. On the exchange, choose a plan that includes Wake Med. Looking for a Medicare plan? Choose one that includes Wake Med. Got a company plan? Make sure Wake Med is in it. Learn more at wakemed.org. After all, it's your health, your choice, and you're about to make a very good decision.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A pretty afternoon for us with lots of sunshine, but it's nice and cool and fall-like out there with highs in the upper 60s. A chilly night tonight, mostly clear with a low of 48, and warmer for tomorrow. Highs will climb into the upper 70s on Saturday under mostly sunny skies. We'll see increasing clouds on Sunday, and we'll see a chance of showers late in the day and overnight.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 238 points to 46,190.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. You can set your watch by it. We're talking about the Panthers going on the road to the Jets. Now, there are a few different aspects of this game that are important. The Panthers have been absolutely horrendous on the road. They're undefeated at home, but they've been nearly, I would say not equally as bad as they've been good at home. They've been bad on the road. They've been much worse on the road than they've been good at home. So going to the Jets is technically on the road. I want to say this very clearly. This is a winnable game for the Panthers. This is a winnable game. They are favored in the game. The Jets are not a good team. They are 0-6 on the season, and they are wounded. It doesn't appear as if Garrett Wilson will play. He is listed as doubtful, and he is one of the few bright spots for the New York Jets. Their coach seems in over his head in his first year in Aaron Glenn. Their quarterback is regressing as a passer in Justin Fields. It is, on paper, a trap game. It is, on paper, one of the first times since I've started professionally covering the Panthers that I think they could overlook their opponent. They could start eyeing the Bills at home next week. They could start talking about a playoff run. I'm not blaming anybody that does it, especially the fans that have been around for a long time that feel like, we haven't gotten a chance to talk about playoffs in so long. I'm not going to wait. The first moment it makes sense. I'm seeing podcasts, one our very own Panthers Playbook from here on 99.9. You can find it on the 99.9 The Fan app. Their headline, can the Panthers make a playoff push, or whatever the actual wording is. These are the big lofty thoughts that get in the way of taking care of business on a weekend. For the second straight game, the Panthers are catching their opponent without their number one wide receiver. I think that matters. Here's where it becomes a little bit more interesting. The Jets want to play right into the Panthers' game flow. They want to run the football, right? They want to make it a shorter game. The Jets want to play the same style that the Panthers want to play. It's Syracuse basketball under Jim Boeheim running into somebody else that plays a 2-3 zone. It's like, okay, you're kind of doing exactly what we do, and we've done it pretty darn well, right? The stop the run and run the ball is plan A for the Carolina Panthers. That's what they've done the last 2 weeks. That's how they've gotten their 2-game win streak. Stop the run the ball. Well, what did the Jets want to do? They want to run the ball. On offense, Justin Fields runs a 4-4. Breece Hall's a fast, good running back, and they don't have the pass catchers, and they don't have the thrower. They don't have the passer in Justin Fields that you want to lean on. So that's their strength is going right into what the Panthers have done as well as anybody in the league the last month, which is Derek Brown and that run defense stopping the run. And the Panthers on the other side, they want to run the football as well, and that's what the Jets hang their hat on as well. So it's kind of whoever forces them to whoever forces them to their plan B is the winner. If you stop the run and make them try to beat you some other way, that is the most important thing in this game. And the last 2 weeks, Panthers have been able to win that battle. I have a stat here. It's kind of funny. I'm going to be honest. It's stat picking. Like it's looking for things that make my point. But for those of you that watched dual screen, right? You did the Thursday night, maybe triple screen. Maybe you did ECU football, Thursday night football, and the Canes game towards the end of those. Joe Flacco had himself a day yesterday. Shout out to the Blue Hens. The 7th best passer rating game in Bryce Young's career. He's now started we'll call it 2 seasons. With the benching and this season not quite going. It started 2 full seasons. The 7th best passing game, according to passer rating, of Bryce Young's career. The stat line was 18 completions, 24 attempts for 167 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. 18 of 24, 167, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Joe Flacco last night throwing just to Jamar Chase. 16 completions, 23 attempts, 161 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception. You could argue Joe Flacco had a better game throwing just to Jamar Chase last night in both volume, efficiency, point production, right? Because it's nearly the same amount of completions and attempts, nearly the same amount of yards, and Flacco had the touchdown to Jamar Chase while Bryce Young had no touchdowns in that game. You could say he had a better game than the 7th best game of Bryce Young's career, throwing just to Jamar Chase after joining the team less than 2 weeks ago, being over 40 years old, and doing it on a short week on Thursday night. That's why it is so important that the Panthers stay on plan A. That's why it's so important that they can continue running the football and picking up first downs that way, and then leaning on Bryce Young in lower volume to be efficient. He simply hasn't done it enough when it comes to being the guy driving a good game. He has been the secondary option. He has been, when the running game has him selling out to stop the run, he can pop it over the top for a nice completion. When you need it at the end of the game on 3rd and 4th down, he's been pretty good. But he has not been good when you tell him we need 340 yards passing. We need 290 yards passing. We need 4 passing touchdowns, and we need high volume. He hasn't been very good there. He's been good when you can limit his role. So against the Jets, that becomes priority number 1. Can you limit his role? And the way you do that is by taking away what the Jets do best on offense, so they don't put up, a 28 through the first 3 quarters or something like that, where then he has to open it up to try to catch up. And you have to be able to run the ball so you can pick up first downs without asking him to do too much. Chuba Hubbard, back. Off the injury report. He's playing. Jalen Coker, while listed as questionable, is expected to make his season debut on Sunday, which I think Jatavian Sanders, same thing, right? He's off the injury report, expected to play. This is how Bryce weapons were envisioned during the offseason. When they traded Adam Thielen, this week is the first time we get to see the roster the way they intended it. So there's no excuse for the things not to work against an 0-6 team with all of your weapons back and a little bit of momentum. It's actually fun to say out loud, but this is if they don't win, it's because of a mental game.
Yeah, they have the advantage, I think, in overall talent, especially with the Jets potentially. Or is Garrett Wilson confirmed out, or is he questionable?
He's listed as doubtful.
Doubtful. More than likely not going to play.
Right after the scans, they said he was expected to miss some time. Like, it wasn't.
Right.
I'll put it this way. I have him on my fantasy team. I've been planning since Tuesday for him
not to play. Yeah, you're not starting him. All right, well, see, even with him playing, though, I think overall Panthers have a talent advantage. A lot of that having to do with they've got that backfield. I'll be super interested to see how they end up handling the touches for the running backs. Dave Canales has been very coy about it. He's not giving anything away about how they're going to approach the backfield with Chuba Hubbard returning and Rico Dowdle coming off 2 fantastic games. It's great having Jalen Coker back. I expect him to get pretty involved, especially if Sauce Gardner is the matchup for Teteroa McMillan. I like it for the Panthers. I like it. I think they win this weekend and get over 500 for the first time in 4 years.
Time. I have a few things to build up what you said. I know there's a lot been made out of it, and we've had the conversation. I think Rico Dowdle has earned the right to have at least one more touch than Chuba. right? I don't care if it's 15-16. I don't care if it's 10-11. I believe that he should have one more. He's earned that. But I will say this. I don't think they're that different, right? Like if it's 3rd and 4 and you're running off tackle and you just need the first down, I don't think they're that different. I think they're built in the same mold of running back. So, I don't think it's this huge deal on a play-to-play basis who's in there, other than whoever gets the more carries is going to be the one more likely to get into a rhythm and get rolling. Secondly, I'm glad you brought up Sauce Gardner. This may pop up in bold predictions. I think Tetairoa McMillan is going to get a boatload of defensive pass interference calls. Sauce Gardner grabs and he's handsy, and Tetairoa McMillan, I think it's because he's so big, those get called more, right? His limbs are flailing and refs can't help but see it, and jerseys stretch and he's tall. I think he's going to get 50 yards in defensive pass interference in this game.
And Dave Canales and the Panthers coaches are aware of that. I think he mentioned that specifically. They were talking about the matchup of Sauce Gardner, I think kind of in general, but obviously Tetairoa McMillan is the wide receiver 1 for this team, so will likely be against him on most of them. He said in his quote, like, he knows Sauce Gardner, very physical, not afraid to take a penalty. So they might target that. We'll see. We'll see if they just kind of throw it up and see what kind of plays and what kind of flags could be manufactured via that avenue.
Sometimes I think Sauce Gardner's strategy is they can't throw a flag on every play, so he like eats to a game and then just he's grabbing and holding on every play, and it's not bad strategy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Max and I go mano-a-mano in a one-day ladder challenge. Coming up next, don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Law Tigers. Something I enjoy about this time of year, obviously, is the weather, but being on my motorcycle and enjoying all the great things the state of North Carolina has to offer, from driving down to the beaches, maybe riding out in the mountains. Everything about the state of North Carolina visually is pretty stunning this time of year. But as a motorcycle rider, you have to understand that drivers out there on the road might be distracted by the scenery as well. You can't afford to be distracted as a motorcycle rider. You have to understand and just assume that other drivers out there on the road do not see you. Be safe when you're out there on the road. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, give Law Tigers a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact your insurance company. Law Tigers, they understand what your bike and your gear are worth, but most importantly, they understand the dangers of the road. So give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Evan Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
He always makes excuses, and it's always somebody else's fault. That's who Tua has been through the 6 years he's been in the National Football League. Respect is earned, it's not given. I don't give a damn that you got a C on your chest and that you've been appointed the, quote, leader of the team from the coaches. In the NFL, if your locker room does not respect your quarterback, it's over, full stop.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
Is going to your local bar the worst part of your day? The bartender ignores you, mediocre food, warm beer? Then why go there? Take 5 minutes and drop in at Sharky's, where they'll give you a free evaluation, and you can learn about all the bars that you shouldn't go to. Sharky's has helped thousands find the right bar to hang at. What are you waiting for? Sharky's evaluation could be the cure to the worst part of your day. Change your bar, change your life. Sharky's, 5800 Durnelly Road by the Shell Station.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. When we're spending more time outside, especially at home, we're starting to notice all of what the past months, all the wet months did to us. What can people do?
They can give us a call, and we can come out and do an assessment of the house. We can walk around the house with you and take a look at your window trims, your door trims, your gutters, your fascia behind your gutters. I mean, rot's everywhere on wooden houses, right? You just see it all the time, and a lot of people get overwhelmed. So what we do, I mean, we have all of our professional salesmen will come out to your house and help you walk around. There's no pressure. We're there to really help people. You know, a lot of times people just want to see what do they need to do on their house. So that's what we're here to do. We can help you come together with a package for like windows, doors, siding, roofing, whatever you need. We're here to help you. That's the bottom line.
Also, great financing packages, correct?
Tons of zero interest financing. We can make payments that are affordable for any home improvement.
I love zero interest financing. It's my favorite type of financing. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Quickly, if you want to win some tickets to Xfinity 500, to the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia for the 26th of this month, October 26th, I'll tell you how. Text keyword CAR, C-A-R, to 919-860-5326, and you'll be entered to win. You don't say anything else. You don't have to say, I would like to enter. There's no secret phrase other than the keyword. Just send in CAR, C-A-R, that is the keyword, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia on the 26th. So it's coming up here in like 9 days. CAR to 919-860-5326. There you go. Now it's time for me and Max to go mano-a-mano with a little ladder challenge.
Oh, my God! And for the 20-foot ladder with a spear on Jeff Hardy. For the love of God, Jeff Hardy may be broken. Smack dab in half.
So here's how it works when Dennis is out. Traditionally, it's a whole different competition, but when Dennis is out, we go to a little a modified ladder challenge. Max and I each have 3 bets of $10. Whoever has the most money on Monday is the winner, right? I want to give you this option if you're very not confident, which I don't think you are, Max, but I want to give you the option. You don't have to bet. You could take your $30 and just say, I think my $30 will be better than what you have going on. If you want to like abstain, you can. You can sit this one out.
No, I've got my 3 winners here.
All right, that's what I want to hear. I didn't expect anything less. By the way, I do want to take a little bit of a victory lap for yesterday. My ladder challenge against Dennis was basically just saying Jamar Chase is going to have a big day. I took him over in some yards categories, and my justification was Joe Flacco isn't a dummy, and only a dummy would not throw it to Jamar Chase, and he threw it. 23 targets to Jamar Chase, and he had 160-some-odd yards and a touchdown. So I know my blue hen quarterback. Me and Joe thinking the same. So ladder challenge was a good one yesterday. Hopefully I can keep that rolling. But as the guest here, Max, you get to lead off. What's your first bet?
We've got Jalen Coker returning for the Panthers this weekend,
Correct.
And I think his line is set a little bit low in terms of yards. So I'm going to go with Jalen Coker over 24.5 receiving yards. That is a -114 bet.
How much was the over-under?
24.5 yards. I'm going to take the over on that. It's -114. I don't know exactly what that returns. I actually don't have it directly in front of me, but it'll be like $9 of profit or $9.15 or something.
I don't hate the bet. The only worry would be is if they don't give him a full roll, right? If he's out there, he was fielding punts earlier this week. If that's all they have him bring him back, I don't know. It's if he's playing what role I think he should be playing for the Carolina Panthers, I think that's a really good bet. My first bet, I'm going to the London game, Jags versus Rams. Give me Trevor Lawrence 2 or more touchdown passes versus the Rams. So the over/under set at 1.5. Give me the over. It's plus 138. The reason I'm taking this is because the Jags are the London team. Right? I think maybe not half, a third of how you play in London is how well do you handle the London trip. The food, the time difference, all of the crazy things that happen. And I think the Jags do it most often, so they'll be good at it, and he'll find at least 2 touchdowns. They'll turn $10 into $23.80.
All right, for my second pick, Carolina Hurricanes playing again this weekend. They are playing at Los Angeles against the Kings tomorrow night. I'm just going to keep it simple. Carolina Hurricanes, 3-way money line. Get a little extra juice. That bumps it up from, it's minus 137 straight up, but if you take the 3-way, which includes, so you'd have to win before overtime, it's plus 115. So $10 would return $21.50.
This is strictly like personal preference. You don't pull back from betting on teams that you care about?
Not typical. I mean, I personally, I don't do any actual sports betting at all. So just when it's just for fun, like, of course I'm gonna.
That makes more sense. As somebody that does dabble on the gambling side, I traditionally stay away from teams that I care about.
That's definitely the smart decision because your bias will cloud your decision.
My bias will cloud, and also, like, I already care about that game. Most of the time, like, I wish I could make a living sports gambling, right? I wish I had to, like, go, declare on my taxes all this money I'm making sports gambling. But if I'm being real, it's just to make games more entertaining. And I don't need, like, a Canes game to be more entertaining. I'm already caring about that. I'm already invested. Same with, like, a Delaware Blue Hens game or something like that. But if there's a game I'm going to watch and I don't care about it at all, that's a little juice for sure. That's probably where I'm throwing money down, which is like, Thursday, Monday nights, Sunday nights. Like, I'm going to watch the game anyway. Might as well have something I'm rooting for.
The flip side of it, though, is if it's a team that you care about or thing you watch, you feel like you have a better feel for how they might approach the game.
All right, let's get into this.
What the matchup is.
This is the Allen Robinson conundrum. Do you remember Allen Robinson? Is that
yes,
before
wide
your
receiver
time?
from the Bears and Jaguars.
Jaguars is where I knew him from. So he was on my fantasy team one year. I'm not telling you about my fantasy team. I'm just telling you about the conundrum. I named my theories. He was on my fantasy team one year. He led the league in touchdown catches. He had, I think, 15, which was a tie for the lead in touchdown catches. But because he was on my fantasy team, I watched every one. Like, I was tracking it, right? Him and Bortles would get down by like 21. Then they'd light it up in the fourth quarter and have good fantasy days. And then Allen Robinson was not picked to the Pro Bowl. And I remember going, what? This dude is a beast. How? But it turns out my brain was very much like, because I was so invested in him, I knew when he was open and they overthrew him. I knew when he had a touchdown catch and they took it away with a bad call. I knew when he, made all these plays for first downs for 5 yards that were so great. The guys that were the other receivers that were also going to the Pro Bowl, they had all that stuff too, but I just didn't know of it because I wasn't watching them. The same happens. Like, I do think you think your team, meaning generic you, the universal you think your favorite teams are better because you get all the context for them and you forgive certain things, but you don't for every team. So I think you're actually inflated when you're talking about your favorite team. I think it makes you a worse gambler. My next pick, I'm going Rashee Rice, anytime touchdown scorer versus the Raiders, plus 125. I think Mahomes has been waiting for Rice to return from suspension.
I love it. He's on my fantasy team, so I'm ready to slot him in, especially since Ibuka got hurt last week.
I think he is, like, it's different than coming back from an injury, right? He's good to go, and I think Andy Reid and Mahomes have been drawing things up in the dirt for him the last 6 weeks. I think he's going to have a big day. He'll turn $10 into $22.50 if he finds the end zone.
All right, my final pick. I'm gonna do a little bit of a self plug here as well. I've started writing these weekly NHL columns. We're gonna put on our 99.9 The Fan app on our website, so you can go check that out. But in it, the last bit, I'm gonna do a Puck Knowers Player to Watch of the Week.
Okay, Puck Knowers, I like that.
Yes, and this week it is Frank Nazar from the Chicago Blackhawks, and they have a game tonight against Vancouver, I believe. So I'm gonna go with a Frank Nazar anytime goal. That is plus 240, so $10 would return $34 if he is to light the lamp tonight.
They're playing Vancouver in Chicago, 8:30 tonight. And that can be found on 99.9 The Fan app?
Yes, the Friday face-off column, as I have titled it, is available on our 99.9 The Fan app. If you go into the news tab and on the website as well.
Download the app. 5-star rating, please, in the Google Play and App Store.
We got a review in the YouTube chat today. Scott Collier earlier said, I used to get bummed because 99.9 The Fan loses range and changes over to NPR halfway through the hour work commute, but now I can Bluetooth it from YouTube or the app. So,
love that.
Very
and everybody
useful
else, if you're dealing with a similar situation, you can use a similar solution. 99.9 The Fan app. My last bet for our ladder challenge, CeeDee Lamb, anytime touchdown scorer versus Washington. He, again, a little different, coming back from an injury. He said he could have played last week. The team held him back because they wanted him 100%, which tells me they're about to unleash him, right? They wanted him for something special. And I also think he's going to be helped by the emergence of George Pickens. So $10 turns into $21.50. It's plus 115. That's the ladder challenge here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We'll see who wins between me and Max on Monday. Next up, nobody wanted to bet on Georgia Tech Duke, huh?
That's a tricky one for me. And the line, I mean,
Duke's favored.
Duke is a 2.5-point favorite, and not that they're not a good team, but Georgia Tech, I feel like you never know what you're going to get with them.
Duke is favored by 2.5 in the biggest game of their season. That's how I'm looking at this one, and I'm right with you. Like, I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole when it comes to gambling, because there's so many different ways it can go. My overall expectation for this is, all right, Darian Mensah, here's the ball. Go win it for us. That's what I would be doing if I were Duke. Hey, remember when you hit the transfer portal out of Tulane and you had all these options and we promised you all of this money, right? The reports, I believe CBS Sports had it first months ago, 2 years, $8 million with incentives for more. When we signed you up for $4 million a year to be one of, if not the highest paid college player in the country, this is the game we want you to go win. This is it, and you've been doing well. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big Darian Mensah fan. I think he's been playing well. I'll illustrate that with a tweet from David Hale. David Hale, who covers the ACC for ESPN, put this out earlier. There are just 3 Power 4 quarterbacks that have a stats line of 75 or higher in total QBR, 69% or higher completion percentage, 15 touchdown passes, and 2 or fewer picks through 6 games. Now, you may say that's a ridiculous stat line. Why did you pick that? Well, it's not completely random. There have been 16 Power 5 conference quarterbacks that have done that stat line or better in the playoff era. 9 of them are current NFL starting quarterbacks. 3 of them have been NFL starting quarterbacks for a season. And 10 were first-round picks. So it is kind of a good threshold for, what's this guy going to do in the future? Right now, there are 3 that have achieved that stat line in college football. Fernando Mendoza, quarterback for Indiana, who in ESPN's latest mock draft is the number 1 overall pick. Ty Simpson, the quarterback at Alabama, who Alabama's starting to call the Heisman Trophy the Theismann Trophy, because they're trying to promote Ty Simpson after the hot start he's been on. And the third is Darian Mensah from Duke. So that's, 2 teams that are super highly ranked and everybody's highly thought of in CFP, and Duke's quarterback. Well, when you pay a guy that kind of money, that's what you expect. Elite performance. When you pay a guy that kind of money, these are the games you better win. So I'm looking at the game, and I'm excited for Brian Moore, right, one of the best offensive linemen. I really like what Nate Shepard, the young running back, has done. Cooper Barkate's a really cool story out of the portal, right? Went and high recruit, decides to go to Harvard, dominates at Harvard, hits the portal after getting his Harvard degree, comes to Duke, having a great season. There's a lot of guys to like at Duke. Chandler Rivers in the secondary, really good player. There's a lot of guys to really like at Duke. You need your top guys to play like top guys in games like this. They're up against the 12th team in the country in Georgia Tech. If you win, you're in the driver's seat to make it to the ACC championship game. You'd be 4-0. There's only 5 teams right now that are undefeated. Georgia in the ACC. Georgia Tech is undefeated in conference play. Duke is undefeated in conference play, both 3-0, so one of them is going to lose. There's also Miami who's undefeated, although they've only played 1 game. Virginia is undefeated. They've played 3 as well. And SMU is undefeated. They've only played 2 games in conference. You win this one, you get to 4-0, driver's seat towards the ACC championship game. And I believe both teams that make it to the ACC championship game have a pretty good chance of making it to the CFP. How crazy is that for Duke? Go win this game. Tomorrow, noon, at home against Georgia Tech, go win this game. It won't be easy. Georgia Tech punches you in the mouth. Go win this game. Haynes King, good player. I really like him. It's actually kind of annoying when situations like this happen. And And it happens in the NHL, it happens in NFL, where like you have your teams that you root for. Hopefully, if you're like a true fan, you have your team that you root for, but you can't help but kind of enjoy the way players play across the league, where you're just like, all right, I like my team's first, but I respect that guy, right? Or I really like his talent. His skill's really impressive. Haynes King has been that guy for me at Georgia Tech for the last 2 years, where I'm like, I'm rooting for the teams I root for. I root for the teams I cover, but I really respect the way Haynes King plays football as a quarterback. So now when it's a situation where he's going up against a team that I'm like, if Duke wins, this could be a really special year for them. They could go on some kind of a run. And then it's like, oh, but they're up against Haynes King. Yeah. Darn, that's my guy.
He kind of has that intangible level of like dog in him too. Yeah. Like he can take a hit and just keep on trucking, and he is a veteran of college football.
Yeah, you go back to when he started at Texas A&M. That felt like it was 10 years ago. But I also like quarterbacks that just make it seem like quarterbacks are tougher than our reputation is. I like those guys because I played quarterback, and you always get you get the jokes. You get the pretty boy. Oh, we can't touch you. Oh, the refs protect you. Then you see Haynes King like bloodied and limping, getting back to the line of scrimmage, and you're like, we can be tough. See? We got one. That's my guy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Canes won last night. They're 4-0, so we're going to hard transition to their next game. Canes at Kings tomorrow. By the way, I do want to give first goal scorer predictions a chance here. I will put the tweet out tomorrow for listener first goal scorer predictions, so you can start thinking now. Some point tomorrow, hopefully early if I remember it and get to it. I will put out the tweet at Donnelly Sports on my account. And we will ask for your first goal scorer predictions for tomorrow's game. All you have to give us is the name of the player you think will score the first goal for the Canes and in what period you think they will score it. That's the requirement. As always, I do like something more specific, right? That's just for bragging rights. But if you want to say it's on the power play, if you want to say it's on a 2-on-1 rush, if you want to say who gets the assists, right? Something like that is what I'm looking for. But just so you all know we're on the up and up, I want to give all of the 99.9 The Fan personalities a chance to lock them in. So I asked them throughout the day. First, we have some credit to give. Victoria Vodenecker, the producer of the Adam Gold Show, absolutely nailed it. For yesterday's game, her first goal scorer prediction was Seth Jarvis in the first period, but not in the first 10 minutes. And, of course, Jarvis did open the scoring in the first period. And it was not in the first 10 minutes. It was, I think, 14 minutes in. So, absolutely nailed it. Props to her. On my Twitter, there were also 3 other predictors, and I'll give them a shout-out here, that got it right. Paul went with Jarvie in the first. Nailed it. He knows Canes hockey. Bearded Scott went with Seth Jarvis in the first. He knows hockey. And Southeastern Sports Fan went with Jarvis on a neutral zone takeaway, unassisted, 7 minutes in. Didn't get many of the details right, but got the player and the period. He knows Canes hockey. To the Kings. Max, would you like to give your first goal scorer prediction? I have it written down, but you can present it and make your argument.
Yeah, I'm going with, and I try to stay away from the super chalky picks because I just
you feel free to go chalky. We're about winning around here.
Yeah, but it's I'm not going to change it up now. I went with Logan Stankoven in the first period. Obviously love his game as the second line center in these first few games. He's always mixing it up, getting involved, and I believe I said it's going to be somewhere in the crease as well, getting gritty down there right in the mixer, right in front of the goalie. So maybe it'll be a rebound or something, and maybe it'll even be a power play goal for that second unit. Would love to see them kind of get going.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, I'm going with Stankoven in the first period.
All right, Paul Ihander, the host of Next Up every weekday morning here on 99.9 The Fan from 9 to 10. He went with Aho in the first, and his detail was that it's a cleanup, a little bit of a rebound for Aho after he took the lid off the goal for him last game. Victoria, who is on fire with the first goal scorer predictions, went back to one of her favorites, Taylor Hall in the first, and she said it's on a breakaway. Adam Gold, Max, you guys are like minds. Stankoven in the first, although he went a little bit more detailed. He went rebound off a Svetch shot on a power play. That's his prediction. Dennis, who is not here, but we got a first goal scorer prediction anyway, went with his guy Sean Walker in the second, so he thinks the Canes get blanked in the first. And mine is going to lead into our quick conversation here, previewing Canes at Kings. First goal scorer prediction. Nikolai Ehlers.
Ooh, I like that.
On the first, and if you want a detail, on the power play. I think they're like Nikishin got his first of his career. Aho got his first of the season. There's eventually, especially if like Svech gets a point or two tonight, eventually just so many eyeballs are going to be on Nikolai Ehlers. Just every time he has the puck, everyone's going to hold their breath, hoping that he can score, waiting for him to score, getting him to score. I want him to get it out of the way. I want him to score an early one, not because I'm worried, but because I don't want him to feel that. He's playing I don't want to say he's playing well because Nikolai Ehlers is too good of a player to get pity praise, right? And he's not producing points. So yes, he's I'm not going to give him a gold star for effort. But he is buzzing a little bit. He's getting looks. He's in the right spot more often than not. He's, I think, going to continue to develop some chemistry with Aho and Jarvis and everybody he's skating with. I think they could mix up the first power play unit a little bit, but that does not involve messing with any of those three. I think I'm half putting this into the universe and half actually saying there's only so many good looks a player of Ehlers' skill will get before one finds the back of the net. So I'm actually going to go with this. I'm going to add one more detail. It's Nikolai Ehlers' first period on the power play, and I'm going to say this. It's a soft goal. He's going to have good looks that he rings the post. He's going to have a goalie standing on his head, and then he's going to hit a rolling puck and kind of fan at it, and it's going to go in, and that's going to be the one that gets him off whatever schneid he is on. So Ehlers gets the goal. And the reason why I say it's going to lead into our next conversation, Max, you obviously follow the team as close as anybody. How long can Ehlers go before – by the way, there is – and I've said this starting after the second game, there is tension in the fan base for Nikolai Ehlers. Whether it's warranted or not, and I actually think some of the people feeling the tension – or it's their subconscious is going come on, and their conscious is going, I'm being so dumb. Why do I care? It's so early. It's such a small sample size, but they can't help but their blood pressure is raising. How long before it becomes a little bit more justified to be why isn't this guy producing?
If they came home from the road trip and he still didn't have a point, then I would be pretty concerned.
I think that's a solid answer, and I think we should all acknowledge that this isn't a 3-game roadie. They're going to be on the road.
Yeah, there's another 4 games left on this road trip, and he will get on the board. I mean, it was kind of surprising. His line mates scored 3 goals yesterday, and he somehow didn't manage to pick up an assist. I mean, he had a pass to a secondary assist on that Jarvis power play marker. He had passed it to the point, and then it got swung around the outside, eventually ended up with Jarvis down there, kind of by the face-off circle where he roofed it.
I think he's had more than a couple assist-worthy passes.
Yeah, he's had a couple great passes that just haven't been finished. He's had some good looks, shots on goal that just haven't found the back of the net. So I'm not really worried about it at this point. The skill is clearly there. It's just not on the score sheet. And I will have one note for the game tomorrow.
Okay.
Anze Kopitar, he's one of my favorite players.
One of your guys.
This generation. Yeah, he's one of my guys. But we will not be seeing him tomorrow. Anze Kopitar, this is reported by Elliot Friedman. From Sportsnet. Anze Kopitar will be out week to week with a foot injury. He was hit by a puck against Minnesota. So they are without their top-line center on a week-to-week basis. So never good news to see someone get hurt, especially a guy like Anze Kopitar who's in his last NHL season, but helps the Canes just a little bit for tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think, and I'm sure some of you might, but I'm trying to think how that might change any of our predictions. But, I mean, as good as he is, don't get me wrong, he's really good. I don't think it changes the way you think a game is going to be played other than they'll just be less talented, which happens when a player like that goes away. But also maybe it's for someone like Sean Walker who's played there with the Kings. It's, obviously Kopitar would have been his vet, his dude, and doesn't have that to go up against anymore.
Gives a little more opportunity for Quentin Byfield, kind of their young guy who's up and coming, will probably usurp Kopitar as he retires as their top line center, who's really been breaking out over the last start of this year, kind of towards the end of last year as well. So somebody for Canes fans to watch if you're not familiar with the Kings. I believe he wears 55. Quentin Byfield, somebody to look for out there for LA.
And as the home team, they'll get to control more of the matchups. But I would say if it were in Carolina, that would probably mean the young guy would get more Jordan Stahl, right? Because it wouldn't be going the other. It wouldn't be going to Kopitar, but it doesn't mean as much when the Canes aren't home. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will continue to get you ready for that Canes-Kings game throughout the show. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, whatever it is, when it's involving your house, have Maynard Service Company's number saved in your phone, right? And not only that, I always say that because I think so often for something like Maynard Service Company, we're thinking about the big bad things that could happen, right? We're thinking about the leaks inside the wall. We're thinking about electricity going out on half your house. We're thinking, and you need the contents of the fridge, right? So you're running extension cords, right? The big dramatic bad. Keep Maynard Service Company's number that I'm going to give you in a second for that. But also, don't forget about just your maintenance, your checkups, right? That might be the best way to deal with the big dramatic bad things is to make sure they don't happen in the first place. Obviously, it's about to start getting cold. It's getting cooler already, but it's about to start getting cold, and you might want to get your heating system checked up on, right? See if there's any maintenance that's necessary to make sure that the heating system runs properly all winter. If you want that, it may not be urgent. It may not be I need you here now 24/7 all across the triangle, but it may be I want Maynard Service Company to come out and check things, right? Get some maintenance done. If that's the case, it's the same phone number. So here you go, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or you can visit them online at maynardservices.com. That's MAYNOR services.com. Real Bold Predictions are coming up next. One of my favorite parts of the week. Stick around.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and as the Carolina Hurricanes shoot for their 8th consecutive playoff appearance, that's right, 8 in a row, that's not the goal, I should remind you. The goal is being, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, the last team standing. What do they need? Who will get them there? You know where you can find the answers on every episode of the Canes Corner podcast, live on YouTube after games, and wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
Want to score points with your boss? Recruit RoofWorks to your building maintenance team to handle your commercial roofing needs. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. We've helped hundreds of Triangle businesses with their commercial roof maintenance, repairs, and if necessary, total replacements. Our pros come to your site, assess your roofing needs, and then give you a range of options to fit your budget. And we'd love to work with you. For roof maintenance and repair, contact us today at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
It's the final shot at the Championship 4. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Fall is here, and so are the savings at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. During our Drive into Fall event, get 20% off any new 2025 Ram 1500. That's right, 20% off one of the toughest trucks on the road. Nothing stops Ram. Or take advantage of 0% APR for 72 months. See dealer for details. You choose how you save, so get off your keister and get to Heister. No one in this area has a better selection to choose from. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Interesting vibe coming out of commercial break with the music. By the way, as I said earlier today, if you have a real bold prediction on who's going to score the first goal for the Canes, make sure to check for the tweet tomorrow, or the X post, whatever we call it, from me. I'll send it out at Donnelly Sports tomorrow morning. You make your predictions there, and if you get it right, you will get your flowers. In the meantime, we got to fire up the bell and buzzer because it's time for real, bold predictions. That's the bold enough bell. If it's not bold enough, I'll hear the not bold enough buzzer, and I'll have to make it bolder on the spot. You know how it goes by now. What game should we start with? I have at least one bold prediction, Max, for the Canes at Kings game, the Panthers at Jets game, the Carolina at Cal game tonight, talking college football, or Georgia Tech at Duke for tomorrow. Which game would you like to start with?
Let's go chronological. We'll start with the Carolina football game tonight.
All right, I think Jordan Shipp scores a touchdown. All right. Part of me thought that I could say like anything positive about UNC football, and it would just be like ding, ding, ding. So I had to try it. Jordan Shipp scores a touchdown on the first offensive drive of the game for the Tar Heels.
I feel like that's the most likely time for him to score.
That still doesn't mean it's not bold. I'm picking a player on the first drive, and I'm not getting bold enough.
I picked the first touchdown scorer for the Steelers last night, Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith.
Not that hard.
Did you pick what drive it was going to be on? Because that's what I'm trying to do over here.
I just told my buddy first touchdown scorer, Jonnu Smith.
I'm going Jordan Shipp scores a touchdown for the Tar Heels on their first offensive drive, and it is to the left side of the field. If that happens, I'm buying a lottery ticket. But also, if you've paid attention to Gio Lopez, who appears to be the starting quarterback for UNC this week, he does skew heavy towards attempts to the left side of the field.
He is left-handed.
Which is kind of – that's not what I would think. As a right-handed quarterback, it was always easier to throw left because it's easier to, like, snap your hips open and throw that way. You have to close your hips off throwing basically a lefty throwing left. It's more wonky footwork. But he's obviously comfortable doing it because he does it way more often. What game do you want to go to next?
Let's see. If we're going chronological, we'll go to Saturday afternoon with Duke and Georgia Tech.
All right, I'm going Darian Mensah and Haynes King combined for 6 touchdowns passing plus rushing.
Passing and rushing?
Yes. 7 touchdowns passing plus rushing? That's 4 and 3. That's a lot.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That's a lot. I think that they are like obvious engines for their offense. I think Haynes King and Georgia Tech, as they do, are going to try to run the football, control the clock, and keep Duke's offense off the field. And if they do that, that means a lot of goal line touchdowns, or at least 2 or 3 of them. And Haynes King has become one of their better goal line backs. And then Darian Mensah, I think he's going to have to sling it around a bit. So I'm not saying the running game can't get going, but I just think they're best when he's slinging it. So they're going to combine for a bunch of touchdowns. We'll keep it rolling here just because we don't have much time. Keeping it chronological, as you suggested, Canes at Kings. We'll go there. I don't even know if this is bold anymore. Gostisbehere, multiple points for the Carolina Hurricanes.
That's the best defenseman in the NHL, man.
Multiple points?
He had 3 last night.
I know, which makes it like, you think he's just getting multiple points every game from here on out?
Averaging darn near 2 per game.
All right, 1.75. We'll go multiple points, at least 1 goal. I don't love that one as much. I like the multiple points angle. I didn't know how to make it bolder without going to 3 points, and that just feels ridiculous. So
if you said he'll keep up his +2 streak.
That would have been a good one.
Matching Gretzky, or maybe he'd be beating Gretzky. I don't know.
Say,
it didn't say if Gretzky had the 5th game with the +2 and a point or not. So I don't. Maybe Shane Gostisbehere's just a little bit better.
I mean, if it happens, like he needs someone at home taking screenshots of when these graphics go up and it's like Gostisbehere and Gretzky. Like, you want that framed in your den. Just like, yeah, just me and Gretzky. Top of the record book. Ho-hum. I'm just going to keep putting this energy out there. Canes Kings tomorrow. Nikolai Ehlers scores a goal. There it is. Give me that bold prediction. Why is that bold?
He hasn't scored any points yet this year.
Yeah, but it's not about what he has done. It's what he's going to do. Why is that bold to say Nikolai Ehlers is going to score?
Well, for one, I feel bad because I always buzzer you on the first one to make sure that you're putting in some extra work to make him bold. But, I mean, we all want to see it, and I kind of just want to put that out there in the world that he will score. Even though I guess I'm saying it's bold to say that, so maybe I'm working against myself. I don't know. I hope he scores. That's all I'm saying.
This game is fun, and it's one that mostly played to make sure my bold predictions are bold, but it does at times reveal some real inner workings of whoever the judge is. It can be Dennis or whoever's sitting in that producer's room, which it's obviously Max now. And I've done this at times, so I'll do it this way. Teteroa McMillan, because we're going to the Panthers-Jets Sunday now. Teteroa McMillan has 30 or more receiving yards. Teteroa McMillan has 40 or more receiving yards. 50 or more receiving yards. 60 or more receiving yards. See, because now we're learning more about Max and what he thinks is bold for Teteroa McMillan. If he says 60 is bold, that's insulting, right? He's averaging that.
He's on Sauce Gardner, and you can't count the penalty yards, so we'll give it a
what did that finish with, 60?
60 plus,
60
yes.
plus. I'll take that every time. And again, that's me turning the game on its head and making the judge more of the contestant than the actual contestant. Last one here, and this goes for Panthers-Jets on Sunday. Justin Fields is the game's leading rusher. The Panthers have a really good run defense. Okay, at least they have over the last month, right? And it was horrendous last year. But they've improved it. Obviously, Derek Brown's a big part of that, and they have a really, really good run defense. I think the Jets' plan to counteract that is fake handoff up the middle, Justin Fields around the outside.
I don't doubt that he'll probably have 50-plus rushing yards.
And I think the Panthers may learn the hard way that if you have two running backs, you may have zero running backs, where they try to split it between Chuba and Rico, and because of that, neither of them get into a real rhythm and don't put together a huge day, which then I would hope leans down the line towards them. I don't know if it's a hot hand, picking the hot hand early and letting them have the game. But because of that, I think that, 73 yards from Justin Fields could end up leading the game in rushing. And that's a credit to the Panthers' run defense that I don't think Breece Hall is getting above 73 rushing yards either.
I hope he's not. I had to bench him in fantasy this week. I mean, if the Panthers have only given up 50 rush yards over the last 2 weeks, I don't feel good about sticking him in there, because then I'll just feel extra foolish because I want the Panthers to win the game.
Or it's emotional hedge. I do that sometimes with fantasy as well. Either way, there's real, bold predictions. If you have bold predictions, you can send them in to 99.9 The Fans YouTube live stream. If there's good or entertaining ones there, we may bring them up on air. Coming up next here on The Drive, we have the starting five. We'll take you into all of our predictions, really all of our breakdowns and previews for this weekend's game. Stick around.
Do you have a smartphone? Of course you do. Do you have a pocket or pouch or human hand to hold your smartphone? Then you have no excuse. Download the 99.9 The Fan brand new app today and take us with you wherever you go. Your favorite hosts, podcasts, and live sports action all in one place. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Finally, there's an app for 99.9 The Fan. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been on the program for 10 weeks now at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I've lost 40 pounds. That's right, 40 pounds in 10 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I'm now transitioning into what they call the maintenance phase. So the goal with Raleigh Weight Loss Center is not just to lose weight, to maybe hit a target goal, but keeping you there as well. So many fad diets are just up and down, and it can be really frustrating for a lot of people. Well, that's the whole point of Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. It's to help you maintain that weight once you get there. And if you have questions or concerns about Raleigh Weight Loss Center or what the program entails, you can set up a free 15-minute consultation by giving them a call, 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. If you have questions or concerns or maybe some health concerns about maybe going on to a weight loss journey, have them answer those questions. 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Takeback Day, October 25th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WREL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. It's a beautiful day out there today, nice and mild with temperatures in the upper 60s. Tonight it's chilly again, partly cloudy with a low of 48, and then mostly sunny and beautiful Saturday with a high temperature of 77.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money at the closing bell. Dow Jones closed up 238 points at 46,190.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I do want to remind everybody quickly before we get to the starting five that we have reached 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. 99.9 The Fan's channel. We are up over 20K. And as a thank you to all of you that have joined our little online community, which we are so proud of, and joined into the conversations and the comments under videos we posted or podcasts we put together and all this content that we work so hard on, in honor of the $20,000 subscriber plateau. We are giving away a signed football by Ike Ekwonu, starting left tackle for the Carolina Panthers, first-round pick, former NC State player. We have the football in the office ready to send out, but you have to be subscribed and also basically, here's what I'll say. There is a video that's been put out on social media, 99.9 The Fan, on all of our social medias that has all the instructions. There's a keyword involved. You got to go to the app. You got to do things. But it's basically just to reward one of our 20,000 subscribers in honor of the accomplishment and in honor of thanking all of you for helping us reach 20,000 subscribers. So go check out the video. Look at all the instructions. It's not difficult, but it's just I could sit here and walk you through it, or you could just watch the video. It's that easy. But again, thank you. 20,000. Very proud of that. Now let's get to the starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now out in front, Nikishin. He scores! Welcome to the National. His first NHL goal. Alexander Nikishin. And the Canes have a 3-1 lead.
Canes beat Anaheim last night 4-1, and they moved to 4-0. The Canes do on the season. They are the last remaining undefeated. They have a real like top to bottom roster thing going on right now, where everybody's contributing, everybody's kind of buzzing. They're obviously having fun. I'm gonna float something out here. Keep in mind, I'm not fully in on it, right? I'm just floating it. This is, like a PR move, right? I'm not making the change, but I'm just floating it. One of my core beliefs about team sports is that the roster takes on the image of its best player, right? If your best player is mean and angry, you're probably going to be a team that nobody wants to play. If your best player is super skilled but a nice guy, then you're going to be a team that everybody kind of respects and doesn't mind playing against, but you score a bunch of points. It's you take on the image of your best player, which I believe has tracked for the Carolina Hurricanes the last bunch of years. It's very much been a Sebastian Aho team, right? It's been do all the little things. It's been you don't attract the limelight, but you're if you get poked, you'll fight back. It's been very Sebastian Aho. First 4 games, does it feel a bit more like a Seth Jarvis team than a Sebastian Aho team?
Just that kind of. It's just like
a little more mischievous energy.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. It's a little more high octane. I'd say a little bit off the rails, but also in a controlled way.
I would agree with all of that.
I think describes Seth Jarvis well. It tracks with your theory there.
I'm not saying he is the best player. I know that some have predicted within the next year or two he could take that mantle. Whatever it is, it's a different feeling from years past for the Canes. Now, again, and I've said this 5,000 times in the last week, super small sample size, right? It's only been 4 games, 2 at home, 2 on the road. And also, it might just be that every team feels super jubilant and kind of happy and they can laugh and joke before you suffer your first loss, right? They really haven't faced much, if any, adversity as of yet, right? They've just gone out, they've won a hockey game, they've gone back to the locker room, and they've done that 4 times. So maybe they'll get more into the vibe that we're used to seeing, kind of the business-like, we're here to work, we're here to do things the right way, and maybe they'll get there. But for right now, it seems a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more loosey-goosey, a little bit more of a Jarvis team, which I don't think is bad, right? And I'm not I'm still the biggest Sebastian Aho guy. I've said many, many times that I think he's the most underrated superstar in the league. I think he is forever going to be actually one of the 15 to 18 best players in the league, and he's going to be judged and kind of put in as if he's the 28th best player in the league, and that's just the way he's going to live his career. I think he is a very good player, but if Seth Jarvis wants to level up, I'm fine with that too. I tweeted this out yesterday. I'm trying, right? Because you gotta write these things down and remember them when you talk for 3 hours a day into a microphone. I really want to remember this moment. I feel like a parent talking about a kid. I want to remember what they look like in this moment. Yes, so when they leave the house, I can always come back to this memory in my rocking chair on the front porch.
Before Seth Jarvis became one of the faces of the NHL and
it's
50 goal scorer.
Exactly, but it's not. I don't want to remember us, right? I don't want to remember Canes faithful. I don't want to remember what the Lenovo Center thinks of Seth Jarvis. I want to try to take a snapshot of what the national hockey consensus about Seth Jarvis is right now, and I want to revisit it next year. I want to revisit it 4 games into next year and see how much it's changed. Because I think there's a potential that the hockey world at large is going to level him up 3 or 4 levels in the next year. And part of that is I do think he's going to have a big statistical season, and I think there's a good amount of the hockey world that just checks box scores and goes, how good is this guy? What's his points per game? But also I think there's a maturation to his game that is happening kind of in real time, and I hope he can stay healthy and all that, which is a prerequisite. But watch out for Seth Jarvis is basically what I'm getting at. and be extra, extra thankful that they signed him to that long-term deal when they did. And let's hear it from Rod Brindamore just because I like this clip here, and we haven't played it yet today. This is Rod Brindamore after a reporter called the team tremendous.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know if I totally agree with you, but it's, especially with Slavo out, our best defender, that he's a huge part of what we're doing. So there's a lot of good, but there's a lot of room to get better for our group.
Yeah, you knew that. You knew that Rod would fight you on that one. What do you think, actually, Max, this will be a fun question for you. What do you think is the highest compliment a reporter could give the team to Rod Brindamore that he wouldn't downplay?
You guys won tonight?
That's about it? You don't think you could sneak in like your team is playing very physical or something like that and have him just accept that? You still think he would?
No, you could probably sneak in something like that. But, you have to keep things measured, right? It's business. It's a long season.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying not to let guys get too carried away. Just take care of business. Stick with the process. It's working well so far. But he will not accept that praise until he's lifting Lord Stanley above his head. Even then, he'll be like, this is nice, but, it'd be better if we'd already won one by now,
Yeah, it'd be, it's a long time coming. I wish some of the old guys could be here for this. They deserved it just like we did.
Anyway, everyone, hopefully they're ready for camp in a couple months because we can enjoy this for now, but we got to start looking at next season.
Do you know what actually I think is going to annoy Rod? And I just learned this. They're doing away with preseason conditioning tests. I guess in the CBA they negotiated that players won't be tested on their conditioning.
Yeah,
when
he would do them.
That's what
against
I'm saying.
The player. Now he doesn't. Maybe he can just do it for fun.
That's like his ultimate alpha move. When everybody comes back, he's like, just so you know, I'm not asking you to do anything that I can't do. Then he goes and crushes the test while they're doing it, and then it's like for the rest of the year, anything he asks, he's like, you guys have to. It's taking it away. All right, what number is that? 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
All right, so I'm a big fan of thinking outside the box as sports develop, right? And I'm not just talking analytics or anything that impacts the actual play. Sometimes it's roster management. Sometimes it's program management. I'm a big fan of coaches that are looking for the next way to impact their program. I have to give a hat tip to Deion Sanders for this one. Deion Sanders, head coach of Colorado, is hosting essentially a portal film scrimmage for his players. So the players that are not playing for Colorado this year, meaning they're backups and third stringers, that are essentially either being told or telling him that they're going to go into the transfer portal, he's putting together a game-like scrimmage for those players to get film so they can send it out basically as a highlight tape, a recruiting tape for other schools to give them a spot out of the portal. Now, you may say this is everything that's wrong. I hate the transfer portal. Why aren't they sticking around? Why wouldn't they get better? That's fair. You can have that opinion. Toothpaste is out of the tube. It's never going to go back to that. What this does is it allows the coach to be honest with the players, right? When you're recruiting somebody, I've said this before, I'll say it a million times. When I stopped playing football in college, as it happens for 99.9% of players, when the game retired me, right? When the NFL said no, I knew I wasn't going far away from sports, right? Too passionate about it, too interested in it, felt I knew too much about it. So it was either media or coaching. And my conscious reason for why I chose media over coaching was because I don't think I can lie to players. I couldn't recruit somebody and say, oh, we got reps for you. You're going to play early. We're so excited to have you. Meanwhile, I knew that we had a sophomore that I was more excited about. But you have to do that when you're recruiting, right? You have to, or else you won't have the best roster you can possibly have, and your job depends on it. Deion Sanders gets to say, listen, when they're recruiting somebody, we anticipate you playing. We want to develop you into a player that we depend on. We want you to be a big part of our future. But if it doesn't work out, and some things are out of our control, right? If we pour all of our attention into you. You do everything right, and there's an injury, or another player has a more competitive camp and takes the spot. Right? We're not gonna sugarcoat it with you. Not every player is gonna play. But if that happens, we're going to do everything we possibly can to make sure you end up somewhere that you are happy and you have the opportunities you're looking for, even if that means using some of our practice time to put together a scrimmage for you to showcase yourself for other coaches. It's very similar. What's happening with the transfer portal right now is very similar to what happened when college basketball went to one and done. When you had to go to 1 year of college basketball before going to the NBA. And everybody at first, it was awful, right? Whoa, you can't win without having a 4-year player. You need veterans. And then it was really Kentucky, and then followed shortly after by Duke, that said, no, we're going to go after one and dones. And I remember vividly when Kentucky started hosting a pro day. Kentucky would have like a combine for their players to go try to show off for the NBA. And that's not helping Kentucky. All right, some coaches want to hide their players so the pros don't know about them, so they get to keep them for another year. Kentucky was like, no, I'm trying to send you to the pros. You can dislike John Calipari. Got him a national championship. That Anthony Davis year doesn't happen if he's not embracing the one and done and going to the pros. And it got Duke and Coach K a one and done championship with the Justice Winslow, Jahlil Okafor, Tyus Jones year. I like thinking outside the box. And I won't be surprised if this happens more. If this happens more and more where a team says, all right, we've got a bunch of players that are not in our future plans, or at least not as much as they want to be, let's run a scrimmage so they can have some tape. Because it really hurts a transfer prospect's chances of being picked up somewhere that is where they want to go in the portal if they don't have game tape to send out. I'll use one more quick example here. Anybody remember Hofstra football? Hofstra, yeah. Willie Colon, Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers, played at Hofstra. Anybody remember Marcus Colston, wide receiver for the I think he might have more receiving touchdowns than anyone in Saints history? They played at Hofstra. When I was in college, Hofstra eliminated their program, okay? They were an FCS program. I was an FCS program at Delaware, and Hofstra eliminated their program. They just decided football wasn't for them, and they did away with it. And it became a feeding frenzy in the portal, right? Because if your program is done away with, you can play somewhere else without sitting out back in the day. Yeah, back when you had to sit out when you transferred. We got a transfer. I won't say his name. I don't know if they want their business out there. But you could look it up, obviously, if you find the details. We got a transfer from Hofstra, a linebacker who was a really good player. He and his twin brother both were at Hofstra playing linebacker. Twin. Needless to say, probably similar players, right? Like twins. One of them redshirted, the other one played. So the only difference, right? And the guy that redshirted he was dealing with an injury in training camp or something, and it led to a redshirt. The other brother played. So once Hofstra did away with their program, we recruited the one that had played because we saw a tape and we're like, oh, we like this guy. He came over to us. The other one didn't have tape. Guess what? He finished his career as a non-athlete on scholarship at Hofstra because Hofstra honored all the scholarships they had given, and he didn't have the draw out of the portal, which wasn't a portal at the time. It was just like the transferring. They're twins. Should have been very similar. The difference was one had tape, one didn't. Deion Sanders is kind of solving that for his players that wouldn't have film and wouldn't go to as good a school as they could if they didn't do this. I like that. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
They're going to give it to Castle. He's got a first down. He's got more. Castle into the end zone, standing up for the touchdown. My goodness, Anderson Castle with his first of the day, 4th of the season, and it's now 37-3 with 11:04 to go.
Duke hosting number 12 in the country, Georgia Tech, tomorrow at noon. First of all, it would probably be better for the ACC if Georgia Tech won. Now, I'm saying that with 100% knowledge that Duke should not care at all, and they won't. But Georgia Tech right now being top 12 gives them, and if they beat Duke would bump up at least a little bit. That would give you two teams like firmly in the projections for the CFP along with Miami. But either way, this is a big game. It has ACC implications, right? Whatever team wins moves into first place in the ACC. If Georgia Tech wins, they solidify their spot in the projections for the CFP, which is huge. So there's ACC implications, there's national implications, there's a whole bunch of stakes. It's also, I think, a really good game for how much better did you get, Duke? The second game of their season, they played against the number 11 at the time, team in the country, Illinois, and they got smoked. They lost 45 to 19. I almost said 49 to 15. 45 to 19 against Illinois. Now, that was September 6th. So a month and a half later, they're playing Georgia Tech. They're not 11th in the country. They're 12th in the country. And it's kind of all right, how much better did you get, right? What's the big difference between you then and you now? How are you more ready for a signature win now than you were then? Tell us, Duke. Show us. Well, my answer is this. I think they figured out some of their run game. In that Illinois game, their leading rusher was Jaquez Moore, and he had 30 yards. Now, credit to Illinois, right? It's Big Ten football. They're physical up there. Just ask them. But if you look at the last few games, Nate Shepard's really picked it up. One of the running backs for Duke, a young guy. Anderson Castle has been the complement to that. And Jaquez Moore still has a little bit of the explosiveness there when healthy. But I think that's the biggest difference, right? Darian Mensah, he's been good from the very beginning. His very first game, he threw for almost 400 yards and 330 and then 315 and then 280-something, 290. Like, he's been really good already. But it's the run game, I think, that would be the most likely different thing from them early in the season where they lost a big game to now where they're going to hope to win a big game. It is the biggest game of their season, which is crazy to say because they play Clemson the next game, but Clemson isn't the trophy fish anymore, right? That win doesn't vault you up the rankings. That win doesn't give you credibility. That win doesn't show how much you've improved from early season losses. The Georgia Tech game is the opportunity for Duke. So if I'm Manny Diaz, this one means a lot. And go ahead.
This is going to be, I was just going to say, this is one of the better matchups, I think, tomorrow, and that's going to be good in the noon slate as well. Mm-hmm. A lot of people will be watching that, and some of them who might not know will get exposed to a very balanced Duke offense and a defense that can keep them in there with names like Chandler Rivers in the secondary. It should be I think it's going to be a really good game, and I'm looking forward to watching it. So all I really had to say. And I mean, this is a big players make big games or make big plays in big time game situation. You brought up Chandler Rivers. I would throw Vincent Anthony Jr., their edge rusher, who's leading the ACC in sacks by multiple. He's, I think, 7.5. The next closest 5.5 sacks this season. You're going to look for guys like that to make big plays, right? Haynes King's a really good player. Vincent Anthony Jr. lights him up. Could be a difference maker, right? And on offense, you're looking for guys like Darian Mensah, paying him a bunch of money as a quarterback. Go earn it. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Johnson. Caught. Touchdown. North Carolina. Kobe Paytor.
UNC at Cal tonight. They're playing a little Friday late night action. It is a 10 o'clock opening kick for the Tar Heels at Cal. It's 10 o'clock Eastern time, obviously.
10:30.
10:30? Is it that late? Goodness gracious.
Yep.
I would have been settling in at 10 o'clock. No,
oh, my gosh. I could swing 10, but 10:30, you know.
I mean, that's 5+ hours from now.
That game is going to be over at like 2:15 in the morning, man.
You know what? Do you think there are people, I'm not talking in the locker room, I'm not talking coaches and players, but do you think there are people like in the administration of UNC going like, it would be okay if everybody didn't watch this game? It'd be okay if some people were asleep in their chair watching the game while it's on TV?
Well, the Sharps disagree based on the line movement. It is down all the way to 7.5 now. I know it had gotten down and jumped back up, but it is down at 7.5 points.
After opening at 12.5.
Yes, it's been moving in Carolina's direction, so something to monitor for sure.
they've had a really weird schedule. Okay, they played their 4 non-conference games, had a bye week, played Clemson, have another bye week, and now are coming into the Cal game. The best part of the bye weeks and I've talked about this on air. This isn't me coming up with something new. The best part of the bye week has been they can do some work in the shadows, right? Players and everything for a while weren't in the spotlight. It feels like every game UNC plays becomes this giant spectacle. And I thought they needed to do some of the hard introspective work that a team needs to do occasionally. If they get it like a midnight game where everybody's eyes aren't on them, but they get to make some progress, I don't know if that's the worst thing for them. If you want to get to 4 wins, it's kind of a must-win game for UNC. But really, like any sign of life, I think would be welcomed by UNC fans. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1. Panthers at Jets on Sunday. Panthers could be above 500 at this time next week. Matter of fact, according to the betting line, they are favored to be above 500 at this time next week. They are a 1.5-point favorite after opening. Talk about line movement. Opening is a 1.5-point underdog against the Jets. They are now a 1.5-point favorite. They are expecting, meaning the powers that be, the experts are expecting this one to be a rock fight. I think this game could be over in like 20 minutes. Both teams are going to try to keep the running clock. They're going to be running the football. They're going to be trying to pick up first downs on the ground. The over-under is set at 41.5 after opening at 44.5. So, again, moving down, people expect this game to be kind of gross. I've said this a few times, and I'm going to continue saying it because I think it applies. Actually, here's the analogy I'll use. You ever seen I'm trying to think of who it was. I was listening to a podcast recently, and it's going to annoy. Oh, it was gosh darn it, Ethan Hawke. I think it was Ethan Hawke, the actor, right? Training Day, and he was talking about his kids, and right, he got famous young. He was in Dead Poets Society, right, and he didn't love the way that Hollywood treated young, and he was hoping beyond hope that his kids would not be actors. And he tried to, he put them in sports, and he put them in this, and he tried to get them involved in this, and he wanted them to be math. And eventually, basically, his kids, one of them, I think his daughter might be famous, looked at him and was like, I don't think you understand. I really like acting. And he was like, all right, I guess it's in your blood. Like, I can't get rid of it, right? No matter how much we try. Like, I could have sent you to military camp to be a women's basketball player. I could have done all of this. It's in your DNA. You were going to gravitate back to the arts. So might as well, support you and try to get you meetings with directors, right? Might as well do that. I think the Carolina Panthers are kind of like that. Their DNA, running the football, stopping the run. Running the football, stopping the run. And throughout their history, a few times, they've tried to be something else, right? They've tried to bring in the hotshot coordinator that wants to throw it all over the place. The Panthers drafted a quarterback number 1 overall and then used 2 back-to-back first-round picks on wide receivers. Like, let's air it out. They bring in Dave Canales. This guy, he's the offensive wonderkind, a modern offense. And what works for them best? Running the football, stopping the run, right? They made J.C. Horn the highest paid defensive back in NFL history at the time. Their 2 running backs are not. One was what? Chuba was a 4th-round pick that took 3 or 4 years to get his love and actual opportunity. Rico Dowdle was picked off the scrap heap on a 1-year, $2 million contract. And what happens? They're the engine. They're over 200 yards a game. They're the ones when you're looking good that are working the best. No matter what the Panthers try to do, no matter if they send them to basketball camps, no matter if they send them to science camps, they're always going to be running the football and stopping the run. So against a team like the Jets, who has a quarterback that can run and doesn't have the passing offense, and their number 1 wide receiver is hurt in Garrett Wilson, It's going to come down to who can do the thing that's in the Panthers' DNA the best. Who's going to run the football and stop the run the best. It's in their DNA. It's what it's always going to come down to. You're always going to have like 2-3 running backs that seem better than they should. You're always going to have big monstrosities of defensive linemen looking to stop the run. It's just who you are. It's just who you are. That's number one here on the starting five. Now we need numbers game contestants. The number to call, 919-860-5326. For your chance to compete in the numbers game, the prize for today, as it has been all week, a pair of tickets to see Seth Meyers at DPAC on January 24th. If you want to win the Seth Meyers comedy tickets, you got to call in and win the numbers game now. We need two contestants. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game. Coming up next.
Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan, from my good friends over at Law Tigers. Something about this time of year that we all enjoy is the weather, but weather is actually the thing you need to keep in mind when it comes to your motorcycle, and that goes beyond just, is it raining outside, or is there bad weather on the way, or are the roads a little bit wet? It goes beyond that, because the weather and how cold it's getting impacts your motorcycle. If you're starting up a cold engine and a cold motorcycle on a cold morning, well, it takes a little bit more time for your motorcycle to get heated up. So make sure you let your bike properly warm up, and make sure you follow your owner's manual to make sure you are getting your bike up to a proper working temperature, because the last thing you want to do is damage your motorcycle. But if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact the insurance company. Law Tigers are there to fight for you. Your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
He always makes excuses, and it's always somebody else's fault. That's who Tua has been through the 6 years he's been in the National Football League. Respect is earned, it's not given. I don't give a damn that you got a C on your chest and that you've been appointed the, quote, leader of the team from the coaches. In the NFL, if your locker room does not respect your quarterback, it's over. Full stop.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This party's getting crazy. Are those mini horses? And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar? Ah! Heads up! Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs. Okay, now it's a party.
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Because you guys do everything for the exterior of your home, these things can add up. And there are a lot of people who think, I can't afford this. How can the Aluminum Company make it easier?
Yeah, well, Adam, we have plans that are 12 months, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 12 months, which make it super affordable for people to do anything on their home, whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, gutters, any kind of exterior home improvement. The Aluminum Company has financing plans that can fit in your budget and make it easy.
So wait a second. I can get everything done, no interest, and no payments for 12 months?
Yeah, and you get a lifetime warranty once the project's done.
I get a lifetime warranty once the project is done?
Yes, sir.
What about my down payment?
No down payment, no
What?
deposit.
No down payment, no deposit.
No payment until the project's done.
No payment till the project's done.
Exactly.
Where do I sign up? Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today, Seth Meyers comedy tickets, DPAC, near the end of January. Pair of tickets going to the winner. The contestants, Micah in Morrisville and Steven in Selma, that is. They will compete for the tickets with jersey number trivia. As always, we'll bring them both onto the show individually, ask them the same question. Our producer for today, that'll be Max, will pick his favorite answer. that person will get to go first. Micah in Morrisville, you're up first. What's going on, Micah?
Hey, Tim.
The question for today, as it so often is on Fridays, is what are you looking forward to most about the upcoming weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure you keep it sports related.
I'd say it's honestly kind of a tie between the Canes game tomorrow night and then also the Panthers' opportunity to go over 500 in I don't know how many years. I think 4 years you guys said. I don't remember. But, yeah, tie between those.
All right, Micah, do you want to be a stickler and make him pick one, or is that a good enough answer? Max, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Micah, you got to pick one.
Panthers.
All right, Panthers. Stay on the line. We'll see if you get to go first. Steven and Selma, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, same question to you. What are you looking forward to most about the upcoming weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure you keep it sports related somehow.
Well, Micah took mine, so I guess my B answer would be this is going to sound kind of broad, but just see what kind of shakeup happens in the college football world. There's a lot of good matchups, a lot of top 25 matchups. I guess if I had to pick just one, seeing what happens with Ole Miss and Georgia. I don't have a dog in the fight, but I know there's obviously the ties with Georgia and Ole Miss coaches having worked together previously. So, yeah, we'll go with that.
All right. Locked in is college football shakeup, specifically Ole Miss and Georgia. Max, you get to pick who gets to go first. Which answer is your favorite?
It's an admirable pivot by Steven, especially as he zeroed in on a game. But I, too, would very much like to see the Panthers go over 500 this weekend, so we'll go with Micah.
All right. The Panthers and Micah. Micah, you get to go first. Are you ready to pick a category?
Yeah.
All right. Categories are NFL players that were at one time or another Jalen Ramsey's teammates, NFL players that were at one time or another Joe Flacco's teammates, NBA players, all Euros, all European players in the NBA, both current and former, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
I'll do Hurricanes throughout history.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we all know it, simply to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Any questions before we get started?
I'm good.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Martin Necas, Carolina Hurricanes.
88.
Correct. Jordan Stahl, Carolina Hurricanes.
11.
Correct. Kevin Holler, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Troy Bodie, Carolina Hurricanes.
32.
Incorrect. Josh Levo, Carolina Hurricanes.
41.
Correct. Kevin Holler, Carolina Hurricanes.
65.
Incorrect. Troy Bodie, Carolina Hurricanes.
33.
Incorrect. Kevin Holler, Carolina Hurricanes.
44.
Incorrect. Troy Bodie, Carolina Hurricanes.
21.
Incorrect. You're getting closer, at least on Bodie. Holler, we were looking for 5. That is the number we were looking for. Bodie, we were looking for 20. I think you went 21 there right at the end, so you were getting closer. But you got Necas, you got Stahl, you got Levo. That means 3 is the number to beat, and you are the leader in the clubhouse. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. That brings us to Steven and Selma. Steven, are you there?
I am.
All right. Are you ready to pick a category?
I am.
Perfect. The ones remaining for you to choose from are NFL players that were Jalen Ramsey's teammates at one time or another, NFL players that were Joe Flacco's teammates at one time or another, and NBA players all Euros, so European players in the NBA throughout history.
Let's go with NFL teammates of Joe Flacco.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need at least 4 for the victory, but keep going for the perfect score if you get it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. You have to call me sir, but your time will start when you hear horn. Ray Lewis, Baltimore Ravens.
52.
Correct. T. Higgins, Cincinnati Bengals.
5.
Correct. Cortland Sutton, Denver Broncos.
23.
Incorrect. Zach Wilson, New York Jets.
56.
Incorrect. Cortland Sutton, Denver Broncos.
30.
Incorrect. Zach Wilson, New York Jets. I will say, there was a good rhythm to your answers. It was Number. That's what it was. It almost lulled me to sleep a little bit. But you got Ray Lewis. You got T. Higgins. We would have accepted 85 or 5 for Higgins because he's worn them both. You got number 5. That's plenty. Cortland Sutton, wide receiver, number 14 is what we were looking for. And Zach Wilson wore number 2 with the Jets. Unfortunately, not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun.
I did. Congrats, Micah.
There you go. Oh, and he's a nice, humble in defeat. Micah, you are the winner. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good game. To the other guy. Appreciate it.
Oh, look at this. We just handshake lines after the game. Handshake lines after the game. Micah, you win the Seth Meyers ticket, so go ahead and stay on the line, and Max will grab the info he needs to get from you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm surprised I guess he wasn't a teammate of Joe Flacco. For some reason, though, I was thinking that one of the answers would be Tim Donnelly, Delaware Blue Hens.
We never
crossed over,
played with
played
Flacco.
at the same program.
There was 1 year in between. He was there. He graduated. There was 1 year, and then I got there the next year as a freshman, which, by the way, is awesome. For those of you that didn't watch the game last night, if you weren't multi-screening it while watching the Canes or ECU or whatever, Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco, they're doing a lot of heavy lifting for those of us of a certain age, helping us remember that we can still be athletes. Joe Flacco is, what is he, 41? Let me check his number out, or his age out, I should say. He is 40, and he will turn 41 in January. They ran a designed run for Joe Flacco. They had him running a read option, and he pulled it, and he got jiggy for the first down. Joe Flacco, gray hair, tucking and running. And then Aaron Rodgers on the other side. Aaron Rodgers, the Hail Mary attempt went, I think it was 69.7 yards in the air, according to Next Gen Stats, which is the longest in-air throw in years. He's even older than Joe Flacco. He's drafted a few years before Joe. Let me see what his age is. He is 41, and he will turn 42 in December. So there is a real, like, hey, the old guys still got a little bit going on moment last night. And they're both over 40. I saw it was the fifth oldest quarterback matchup when you combine ages in NFL history. And the top 3 were all Tom Brady and Drew Brees. All of them. So if you take away Brady and Brees, it was the second oldest quarterback matchup ever. And they both look spry. They both looked spry. Matter of fact, I have a stat for you here. This is a fun one. Just a real, like, things that make you go, I got to find it now. I got to find it. Oh, it's going to take me too long. Oh, that's a bummer. It was basically one that was just showed how absolutely ridiculous Tom Brady is for how good he was at such an old age. Oh, here we go. I got it. You ready for this, Max?
Hit me.
Joe Flacco threw for 342 yards last night. He became the 6th quarterback to throw for 340 yards in a game after turning 40. He has 1. Vinny Testaverde has 1. Warren Moon has 1. Drew Brees has 3. Brett Favre has 3. Tom Brady has 25. It's absurd.
Do you want to hear? There's a kind of a related stat I saw that I'd love to share.
I have one more, so I'm going to see if it's the same, but go ahead.
No, you go ahead, because I think it is going to be the same one.
Does it involve Jerry Rice?
It does involve Jerry Rice.
So Tom Brady is the second leading receiver in plus 40 or in 40 years and older receiving yards, which is he has 6 yards. He has 6 receiving yards, which is second only to Jerry Rice, and Jerry Rice has a bunch. He had like 150 catches.
2,500 yards after turning 40.
But Tom Brady is second most receiving yards for a player that had turned 40. I desperately want like Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers to catch trick plays this year just to push Tom Brady down in something.
Well, you know what the rest of that list is? Mercedes Lewis has 2 yards. He's in 3rd.
There you go.
Everybody else not named Brett Favre has 0, and Brett Favre has -2.
That's funny. By the way, did you see there were some real old men yelling at young guys moves last night as well. Did you see Aaron Rodgers after the flea flicker? This is one of the funniest miscommunications of all time. Aaron Rodgers handed it off to, I think, Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren ran towards the line of scrimmage, turned and flea flickered it back to Aaron Rodgers, who caught it. You could see like his body language go like, whoa, caught it, ran to the right, dirted it, just got rid of it to protect himself. Then, if you can read lips, what I believe he said was, "What are you doing? That wasn't a flea flicker."
Yeah, they said on the broadcast, or maybe it was in the highlights after, like maybe it was supposed to be, but then they alerted out of it. Rodgers alerted out of it, but the running back didn't. He was not aware that they had changed the play call, and he went with it anyway.
Maybe. All I know is that's got to be an all-time hilarious moment where you hand off the ball and you're just watching the play thinking it's a run play, and then the running back turns around and goes like, "Think fast," and throws it to you if you're not expecting a flea flicker. Hilarious. And then also Aaron Rodgers, after throwing what looked like it might be a game-winning touchdown, an offensive lineman jumped on him to celebrate, and he got real mad. He pushed him, "Get off me, what are you doing?" Like a real old man yelling at a young guy move. Either way, it was a funny game. Old guys stand up, right? If I'm in my mid-30s, you're in your 40s, still getting it done in the NFL, I could still make it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company. Sports is really the only situation where, like, having been good at something for decades ends up being a negative, right? Everybody expected the old guys to not be as good last night throwing the football because, well, they've been doing it for 2 decades. That can't be good. Manor Service Company, it's the opposite, right? Manor Service Company has been working on heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems across residences and commercial buildings all across the triangle for decades, and that's part of the reason why you should trust them, right? All of that experience just keeps accumulating. And the other thing that does is we all, and I do it, you do it, we all do it, right? You buy a house, and you want that heating system, that HVAC to last as long as possible, right? Well, hopefully you kept good care of it and it'll last a long time. You don't want your technician showing up and going, "Oh, I don't know how to work on stuff from the early 2000s. You want them to have all the experience in the world. Manor Service Company, their training facility, I've been to their warehouse. It's unbelievable. They have water heaters from every different era. They have air conditioners from every different era. And because of that, their technicians are trained up on whatever type of equipment you have at your house. So give them a call. Let all of that experience go to work for you. If you need anything serviced, fixed, helped, maintained in your heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical systems. The number to call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at ManorServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. That is, by the way, why sports are kind of frustrating. Right? The more you know mentally, you learn more and more experience, your body starts to break down. So it's like, gosh, if I only knew what I know now back then, when I had the body that was ready to go, it'd be completely different. But that's not how it works. When we come back, we'll try to make some picks, send you off into the weekend the right way. Stick around.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC, the biggest matchups will be found here.
Prevula firing left side, seam picked off, and Alabama is going to hang on and win this one, 27-24.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
Nothing beats a fairway green lawn. Now's the time to seed your fescue lawn. A lot of people think it's springtime, but that's incorrect. You got to get out there and do a core aeration seeding, put down the proper fertilizer at that time. And if you have a warm season lawn, now's an excellent time to start controlling winter annual weeds like poana. And of course, broadleaf weeds never stop, no matter what turf you have. So it's always a good time to apply the proper broadleaf weed control and your fertilizers. 919-329-0095. Visit fairwaygreen.com and go ahead and request a free lawn analysis. We'll be out within a few days and leave a very detailed lawn analysis in the door. Nothing beats a fairway green lawn.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Catch every single moment. The Dugout Tavern and Grill is an official member of the Canes Bar Network. With the NHL package, we broadcast all available games on the 16-foot high-definition video wall. Soak in the energy on our indoor-outdoor patio and bar, where you can see and hear the games. Plus, enjoy drink specials and a terrific menu. It's like you're on the ice, but better. The Dugout Tavern and Grill, Kelly Road in Apex, and thedugouttavern.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You know, when Max fills in as producer, sometimes a song plays coming out of break, and I go like, oh, what went into this? What was the decision here? Why'd you pick this rejoin? And he goes, it was next up in the file. I just click rotation. I don't think that's the case when McDonald comes on.
No, you got to send it into the weekend with some Michael McDonald. Come on.
I hear Yamo be there one more time. Never mind. It's a quote from a movie. We'll give you that much. Big Michael McDonald fan, I'll never understand how, like 3 times a show when you're producing, I am reminded how much younger you are than me. And then you come around with, but I'm a big Michael McDonald fan.
Well, I mean, some bangers are just, their time does not apply to.
It throws everything that I thought I knew upside down every single time. Either way, our resident Michael McDonald.
I'm trying to find more songs that maybe are like a little more under the radar, so it comes in and you're like, oh, it's just a random song, and then the vocals hit, and you immediately you know.
You can't mistake in that voice. You can't do it. Either way, our resident Michael McDonald fan, Max, the producer, will now set up some games and some situations for us to make some picks going into the weekend. Have at it.
All right. Well, I feel like we'd be remiss if we did not mention there is playoff baseball tonight, both ALCS and NLCS. Toronto and Seattle in the first game. That one's starting in about 10, 15 minutes here. That series is tied at 2. They're in Seattle. And then at 8:30, it's going to be the Brewers and the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. Ohtani on the mound as the Dodgers look to close out the Brewers up 3-0. Who do you have in playoff baseball tonight? Who's gonna win each of these games?
I'm going Seattle because of the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And, I mean, Shohei's on the mound. I feel like, he's going to have one of those star-making performances. Closeout game, I guess the Dodgers. Although I will say, I think there's like, $200 million in payroll between the Dodgers and Brewers.
I'm pretty sure it's more than that. I'm pretty sure the Dodgers payroll is like $500 million and the Brewers is like $120.
It's hard not to root for the team that's that much underfunded. So, yeah, I mean, I hope Milwaukee gets the win, but they're up against it, so probably the Dodgers.
I'll go with the Dodgers as well, but I'll see the Blue Jays. They've been red hot in these first 2 games in Seattle, and we'll see if
but
they
can. Don't have Cal Raleigh.
They don't have
North
Cal
Carolina's
Raleigh.
very own.
There's no doubt he's the best player in the series, but Vlad Guerrero Jr. has been on a tear, especially in these last couple of games. So I'll go with Toronto, but I will agree with you on the Dodgers sweeping the Brewers and heading to the World Series. So let's go to another big game those are big games, but not for the people around here. But this one is for certain college football fans in the Triangle tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. North Carolina taking on the Golden Bears of Cal out there in Berkeley. Opened as a 12.5-point favorite, did Cal, is now down to 8.5. North Carolina's had 2 bye weeks out of their last 3 weeks, and sandwiched in the middle was a pretty big home loss to Clemson. What do you have in this one tonight? Carolina taking on Cal.
I'm of the belief that you're going to have to show me you're different before I believe you're different. I'm not betting on UNC. I don't think they lose by a billion, but I don't think they keep it within a score. So, Cal wins 31-17.
I will go with Cal as well. I think it'll be a big day for Sagapolatelli at quarterback in the battle of lefties.
Mililani High School's very own.
Yeah, apparently a battle of left-handed quarterbacks if we see Gio Lopez under center.
Ball spins the wrong way. It's not right.
Oh, it must be hard for the receivers to catch that.
I don't think it's hard once you're used to it, but if you're going back and forth like UNC is, could be.
All right. Let's go to another big triangle matchup. Duke hosting Georgia Tech at Wallace Wade tomorrow at noon. Duke is a 2.5-point favorite over the undefeated Yellow Jackets, who are ranked 12th in the country as of now. Winner of this game will move to 4-0 in the ACC and first place in the conference. Who do you got, Duke or Georgia Tech?
I think this is a potential, as much as you can, like without being, one of the top 5 teams in the country. I think it's a potential star-making moment for Darian Mensah. I think he throws for 3 bills and they get the win, but it's close and it's not super-duper high scoring. It's something like 28-24.
I feel like Georgia Tech plays those gritty games. They kind of
try to.
It's like the identity of Brent Key and Haynes King. I think Georgia Tech will pull it out, though. As much as I don't love to say it for the Triangle.
It's not a bad pick.
It's going to be a good game. I hope it's going to be a good game. It's one I'm definitely looking forward to watching tomorrow. We'll keep it in college football. We got a top 10 matchup in the SEC. Ole Miss going on the road to Sanford Stadium and taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia is a 7.5-point favorite over Ole Miss. Number 5, Ole Miss. What do you got between the Dogs and the Rebs in Athens?
I'm going Ole Miss. And the reason being Trinidad Chambliss. He was playing for Ferris State like a year ago. Division II. Transferred to Ole Miss. Now he's leading Ole Miss into Georgia. I feel like that's you got to go in and just let it fly. He's going to be going for it. He's a quarterback for Ole Miss. So give me Trinidad Chambliss for the win.
I'll go Georgia. Hard to win on the road there, though. I was a bit surprised to see that they're such heavy favorites. I mean, it's 7.5 points, but feels like a lot for hosting a top 5 team. And we'll finish up big matchup for the Carolina Panthers this weekend, going on the road, taking on the winless Jets. The chance to get to 4-3 and over 500 for the first time since the 2021 season. Panthers are a slight favorite. Are the Panthers going to go on the road and get it done at MetLife Stadium against the Jets?
I know I've been accused of being like a Debbie Downer on the Panthers, but I will say this: I've predicted 2 of their wins. 2 of the 3 during this segment I've picked yes. Dallas was not one of them, but the first 2 I did. So I am picking the Panthers again. I don't feel super great about it, but as long as they don't let all of the kind of the roster shakeups, and who knows if Damian Lewis can go, which could be a big absence. As long as they don't let things get shaken up too much, I think the blueprint they've used the last 2 games is a really good place to start against the Jets. I'm not super afraid of their passing game without Garrett Wilson. So give me the Panthers to win and cover. So they have to win by at least 2.
Oh, by 2.
Hey.
I'll go with the Panthers as well. And I had them last week for the Dallas game. Granted, I knew I was going, and I've never seen them lose in person. So that streak continued.
So why are you not going to New York?
Maybe I'll grab a ticket. Who knows?
Team move. Got to get there. Yeah, I think they win by 3, and it's probably a last-second field goal because it always is. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up to start Overdrive, we're going to talk a little Canes and the hype around one of their rookies, Alexander Nikishin. Should be a fun one. Please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to Max for keeping us up and running today instead of Dennis. And we'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Move your sports day forward.
Trust, a simple word looming large over Carolina football today. Reports have become reality, and so much it looks like we're publicly witnessing a couple renewing their vows after a long marriage. The problem is these renewals are coming way before the first anniversary of the relationship, and that's tough timing if you trust they'll stay together.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center for about 10 weeks now. I've lost 40 pounds. 40 pounds lost in 10 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And there's so many things about my life that have just improved simply by the weight that I've lost. I'm sleeping a lot better. I'm feeling a lot energetic. I go out and play sports or ride my motorcycle. Just a lot less pressure on my hips, knees, and ankles. My body literally feels 10 years younger thanks to the weight that I've lost over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. And the one thing I appreciate about the Raleigh Weight Loss Center program is the fact that they also want you to maintain that goal weight as well. It's not just getting down to that target weight. They want you to keep it there. That's why you got to give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com and set up a free